President in the 1980s. He was 84 and had been in declining health in recent months. His death comes hours after we lost a Hollywood legend, actor Robert Duvall.
Nobody has ever gunned down a New York police captain, never. It would be disastrous. All the 5 families would come after you, Sonny. The Corleone family would be outcast.
The Godfather films are among the 80-plus movies Duvall starred in. He won a Best Actor Oscar for Tender Mercies.
Robert Duvall will be remembered for incredible performances in many star roles and, of course, nailing this iconic line in Apocalypse Now.
You smell that? Napalm, son. Nothing else in the world smells like that. I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Duvall was awarded a National Medal of Art and received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And despite all of his achievements, he remained humble, acknowledging how others contributed to his success.
That's Fox's Christina Coleman. There is yet another measles outbreak.
More than 40 cases of measles have been reported at Ave Maria University in southwestern Florida. The Florida Department of Health recently updated its data to show 46 confirmed measles cases across Collier County, with the university serving as the primary site for the cluster. The outbreak at the Catholic College comes amid a broader national increase in measles cases, with 2,280 confirmed infections nationwide in 2025. Tom Graham, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures have been down modestly after a long holiday weekend. An American set a record in Italy. Alana Taylor-Myers is the oldest Winter Olympian to win a gold medal in an individual event. She's 41, took gold in bobsled. Kaylee Humphries got the bronze, giving Team USA 19 medals at the Winter Games, third behind the leader Norway. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Areas of fog here this morning with patchy light rain and drizzle possible. Otherwise, mostly cloudy today. Temperatures approaching 40 this afternoon. 30 tonight. Rain mixing with snow at times on Wednesday. High temperatures tomorrow, mid-30s. Mix of clouds and sunshine Thursday, upper 30s. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone from the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Cartoon Madness is coming to the Rome Capitol Theater February 16th through the 21st at 3 p.m. daily, 3 and 7 p.m. on Saturday, February 21st. This year's theme, Looney Tunes Goes to War. 8 dozen cartoons in the Looney Tunes Merry Melody series with Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig, and more, all made during the World War II period. Tickets are $5 for adults and $3 for children 12 and under. More info at RomeCapitol.com. Cartoon Madness, Looney Tunes Goes to War, February 16th through the 21st at the Rome Capitol Theater.
Crime is already skyrocketing in 2026. You may already own a firearm, but before you face the financial, legal, and emotional weight of pulling the trigger, there's a smarter option. Burna, that's B-Y-R-N-A. Burna makes less lethal launchers that fire tear gas and kinetic rounds designed to stop an attacker for up to 40 minutes, giving you time to escape and call for help without deadly consequences. Their best-selling compact launcher is sleek, slim, and incredibly powerful. About the size of a smartphone, it's ideal for concealed carry, comfortable, discreet, and confidence-building. It fires at 400 feet per second with serious stopping power, enough to shut down a threat fast without the legal and moral complexity of lethal force. Burna is proudly American. Over 85% of components are U.S. sourced, and every launcher is hand-assembled in Fort Wayne, Indiana. With over 750,000 sold worldwide, Burna is best in class, and it's legal in all 50 states. No background checks, shipped straight to your door. Visit Burna.com today and find the right launcher for your family. That's BYRNA.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Friday means another 50-50 Friday. This week, score a $50 e-voucher to Pizza Boys in New York Mills for just $25 exclusively through this station's website. For the best New York-style pizza in the Utica area, head to Pizza Boys, a full-service pizzeria known for hot, cheesy, hand-tossed pies made fresh and served right. Go with a specialty pie, stick with a classic favorite, or build your own masterpiece just the way you like it. And it's not just pizza. Pizza Boys also serves up paninis, fresh salads, calzones, and overstuffed subs. Craving wings? Choose from more than 11 flavors and find your new favorite. Whether it's lunch, dinner, or game day, Pizza Boys delivers big flavor every time. To save on something delicious, head to this station's website this Friday morning, click on 50/50 Friday link, and grab your $50 Pizza Boys e-voucher for just $25 while they last.
It's time for a Utica tradition, America's greatest heart run and walk on March 7th. And on March 6th, it's the 55th anniversary of the WIBX Heart Radiothon. Sponsored by the Slocum-Dixon Medical Group this year, the Radiothon started when local runners honored the passing of WIBX personality Ralph Ellinger. They ran for 18 miles and raised money for the American Heart Association. Celebrate with us on March 6th. Hear from Slocum-Dixon doctors about ways to be healthy. Cheer on participants in the Treadmill Challenge and help fight heart disease.
First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX. Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
It is President's Day. Bill is back with us tomorrow, we hope. He's a little under the weather today. But Smitty and I are pushing on, and joining us now in studio, Tucker Rosemire. He's got a new venture in downtown Utica. It's called Beef and Bird, and you got two places right now?
Right now we have 1886 Prime in Frankfurt, and now Beef and Bird is on Genesee Street.
Well, I'll tell you, I've heard great things about both. I haven't been to 1886. Did I say that right?
1886.
1886. I notably, when I wrote a story when you guys first opened up a couple years ago, I was still here full time, and I wrote a story, and I think I put like 1872 or something.
Well, the building was built in 1886, so it's an easy one.
Yeah, that's an easy one, and it was just, I think, a typo on my part. But I hear great things about them. Let's start with Beef and Bird, the new place. What is Beef and Bird?
Beef and Bird is a little sandwich shop where we specialize in roast beef and chicken, and basically the star of the show are these fresh cut fries that are cooked in beef tallow. That's the main thing, is that we're not using any seed oils to cook in, and that the French fries are fresh cut and cooked in chemical-free beef tallow. Because there's a lot of people jumping on this bandwagon with beef tallow now. But if
I even see for like skin, they say you should moisturize your skin with it.
You know, it's very similar to human fat. So when you use it, it just works easily when it goes on. But as far as the beef tallow that we cook with, you could use that for your skin. But some of it has like a little beefy smell to it if it hasn't been deodorized. Ours is deodorized with steam, not a chemical process. So it takes away that little bit of farm smell that comes with it at times.
Sure. And then what's the deal with the seed oil? The idea is the beef tallow is a healthier option?
For years, it was demonized, like butter, eggs, red meat. All of these things were demonized as being unhealthy. Now there's new information, there's new studies coming out that's actually not true. And the other thing is the seed oils, basically canola oil, which comes from the rapeseed plant. They don't even give it its real name, but it comes from the rapeseed plant. Vegetable oil, corn oil, all of these things are very high in linoleic acid. It oxidizes under high temperature, which causes free radicals, which that's the problem in the system. And beef tallow does not oxidize at higher temperatures.
Gotcha. So this is a trend now.
It is trending. It definitely is trending.
It's funny. It goes away, comes back, goes away, comes back for a long time. You mentioned butter and eggs. Don't eat them, don't eat the yolks. And I don't know. I guess there's conflicting science on this. But how's it gone so far?
It's very busy. We're very blessed. We're lucky that we've been well received in downtown Utica. We opened for lunch. Initially, we were opening at noon. There's people lined up at the door, so we said, hey, let's get in here and open at 11. So we open at 11 during the week. We close at 7. Kind of dies down in that area.
Sure.
Especially in the winter. But we're busy all day. We got seating for 14, 15, and there's people standing. We don't have a phone. So people, you want to come in, it's kind of like bosses. You place your order, we call your number, and that's how it works. We don't want the food to sit around.
I got you. No, I like it. Fresh and made to order. So you talked about the fresh fries.
Fresh cut fries.
Talk about this.
The fresh cut fries, we're cutting fries all day long. We're doing I talked to the guys at Five Guys, and we're doing about half the amount of them, which is impressive because Five Guys is booming over there.
Yeah.
They're using peanut oil. We're using beef tallow. So eventually we're hoping to get that up there. But we're cooking fries all day. I heard the mayor on last week. He talked about our French dips. We call them the Big Dipper, the Little Dipper. These are roast beef sandwiches. We roast the beef every day. We make our own bread for these dip sandwiches. We're also using Heidelberg rolls for some of our chicken sandwiches. Yeah, so, we're supporting local. We're doing all the cooking hours. We have a limited menu, but we're keeping it small. We're just trying to push out something that we want to do best.
Yeah, and as they say, Jimmy talked about this when Jimmy Fiola talked about it. We play the hits, man. Do what you're good at. Simple menu, straightforward. This is what we focus on. This is our specialty, and enjoy it. So you said you got a lot of lines there. There's no phones. You can't call an order.
You can't call us. We're definitely getting messages on Facebook. They're calling my Facebook number. But if you want to get in touch with us, come in and talk to us. You could send us a message. We do have a gluten-free option. There was a lot of talk of, the gluten-free people. They came on there. They made their presence known. So we do have a gluten-free roll. So we have a gluten-free roast beef sandwich and one of our chicken sandwiches, which we just added. We call it the Dirty Bird, which is a chopped chicken sandwich. It's chopped chicken thighs. We could do that and a gluten-free roll as well.
Love it. Now you don't have a phone. I know I just mentioned that, but what I'm getting to is, do you do the delivery services, the DoorDash, the Grubhub, the Uber Eats?
Honestly,
can people do that?
We don't do that right now.
Okay.
We are so busy that it's not in the cards right now. Maybe at some point that may happen, but we're really looking to do something different than everybody's doing. Come down, order in person, talk to people, spend some time in there, eat it in your car. But, this isn't one of we would probably explode if we had something like that. I bet you would. But we just can't handle the volume right there.
Gotcha. No. And your location, you're on I always forget the name of the road. It's the strip right next to North Jenny if you're heading over the bridge.
It's still considered Genesee Street. That's my legal address, but we're next to Silk.
Over by Utica Coffee.
That Coffee.
Strip there.
And it used to be Utica Bread for a little bit there.
Yeah.
So,
where Taylor and the Cook used to be.
Taylor and the Cook used to be on that street.
Yes. All right. So that is Beef and Bird.
Beef and Bird.
When did you officially open?
We opened right before New Year's.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. And you've been great for 6 weeks. It's gone great for you. Happy to hear that. Tell us about 1886.
1886 Prime. Maybe it's a sister restaurant. We're seed oil free down there. So what we're doing, we're also cooking in beef tallow. We created a chicken wing sauce without liquid margarine. So this is the only one. Everybody else is using liquid margarine, which is not healthy for you. It's just not. So we did one with avocado oil. Can't taste the difference. We put butter in there to get that butter flavor. That's what we're doing with our purple cow wings down there. We're selling Prime burgers, USDA Prime Smash burgers. We're fresh cutting our fries down there. And this Wednesday is Ash Wednesday. So we're going to be doing fish fries as well down there.
Yeah, that's awesome. And this is more of a come in, sit down?
You can sit down. We have seating for 40 or 50. We're waiting on
a restaurant
we're waiting
style,
on
right?
a beer and wine license. In the meantime, people bring their own in. They party up down there, have a good time, stay late, and it gets wild sometimes. No, it's a great place down there. I mean, it's in Frankfurt, so a lot of times people from Utica, they don't want to drive down in the cold weather, but a lot of our business is out of town, and obviously Frankfurt people support us great, and we appreciate that.
Absolutely. Did you bring anything for me to sample today?
Well, the plant medicine thing, that was our last conversation, I think, and we had a good time with that. I'm still working with that. Still, spirituality is a big part of my life.
So what do you mean the plant medicine? We're talking about...
Well, the plant medicine. Last time, I think it was Sanga, which is an Amazonian plant where it's used to clear and the tribes use it to hunt with. Ayahuasca, the Bufo alvarius toad, those are all things that...
Is ayahuasca the Aaron Rodgers stuff? Is that the stuff he tried?
Yes. I mean, and you could see what it's done for him in his life as far as just his energy. It's changed his life.
Yeah. I would say on the football field, he's got to have a better attitude, I think.
Well, I think...
It's always the wide receiver's fault. It's never his fault.
He's probably past his prime a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's time to, go sit in the booth and talk about it instead of playing on the field, but...
So, okay, let's talk about what you had brought in that one time. I was so naive walking into this because Bill's like, hey... Tucker's bringing this thing in. It's these eye drops. He wants you to try them. Now, this was a plant that they put into a liquid form?
The Sanga eye drop. So they take the root of the plant and they basically grind it up and put it in a water solution. Some Some of them aren't as strong as others. The one that I actually happen to have is the one, it's like dropping battery acid in your eyes. And what that did was...
Thank you for that.
It made you stop thinking about any of your other problems and focus on your eyes. The release of adrenaline in your system pumps up, though, right?
Yeah.
And then if you were to go, say hunting monkeys in the jungle, you're gonna be ready for that.
So, for those who weren't listening at the time, this happened a couple years ago. Bill had said to me, Tucker's got these drops. He wants you to try them, or he wants somebody to try them. And I said, yeah, absolutely, I'll do it. So as you guys were explaining this, as you said, you don't think about anything else. So in my mind, naively, I'm thinking he's going to put these drops in. It's going to be like a body buzz. Yeah. I'm only going to focus on positive energy and positive vibes. I didn't realize when you said you'll stop thinking about everything else is because there's a lot of pain and you don't know what's going on. You lose. It's like if someone came in and smacked your hand with a hammer. You forget that your toe was hurting.
Would you do it again?
Sure.
All right.
Absolutely.
We'll have to set it up.
I'll do it. We'll do it in studio.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Absolutely. I'll do it again. I remember instantly thinking, wow, this might not have been the best idea, but I do get it. It kind of makes you focus on what's important, and it also. There's an element of, I don't want to say survival. That's a little
Serenity
dramatic.
Afterwards? Did you feel the calm that came afterwards?
Absolutely, yeah, because you kind of realize, I can still see and I've got everything going on. So, like, the important things, I guess. Do you still... Can I ask you about this? Do you still make trips and try out stuff? I
haven't had a trip in a while. My last trip...
we're not talking about an acid trip. We mean a trip out of the country.
No, I was in Colombia this summer. I went to Colombia this summer, and I'll tell you, I'll be honest, it was the first time that I actually got robbed. I got robbed in Bogota, Colombia. I was sitting there trying to do a reel. I was videotaping some pigeons. An old man came up to me, asked me for some directions, and it just so happens that he was part of this greater scheme. And then another man that portrayed a cop came up to me and pulled me off into a side street, and they got me for $1,300 cash.
Wow!
I handed it over. I mean, when you think you're going to get robbed in Colombia, knife, gun. No, it was just I handed him my cash over because the old man was part of this whole thing, and it was it was disheartening. It was. I was just there just to enjoy myself and relax,
Holy cow.
Could have gotten worse.
So if anybody's traveling, explain how this scheme works. Give more details on this.
It was just an old man came up, asked me for directions, and then another...
Well, hang on. That's a red flag, though. He's a Colombian guy?
He was portraying himself as being from Ecuador. He had a whole story. He's from Ecuador looking, his wife's there for eye surgery, and he was looking for his hotel.
Wow, elaborate, yeah.
Yeah, it was elaborate. And then another guy showed up claiming to be Interpol police, and he started asking him questions.
Right in front of you.
Right in front of me.
To make it look like,
and then he's like, all right, you two come with me. And I'm like, I'm not even with this guy. And the whole time, I'm not even realizing that these two were together on this thing.
Wow.
So we went off to the side street. He had the old man hand him his wallet. And I saw that there was hundreds in his wallet. So he asked me how much money I had. I had some cash. I had just watched a YouTube video about not leaving your money in the safe in the hotel room. So I was carrying my cash
everything
on me.
You got. Yeah.
I had about $1,300 on me. Handed it over. And as soon as I did that, I saw a little tattoo on his hand. I was like, oh, man, not good.
Oh, no.
And then he started walking. And next thing you know, he's down the street and waving to the other guy. And everybody just disappeared. And I'm standing there like an idiot. Minus $1,300.
Wow. No jewelry.
I had my chain on, and he kind of like touched my chain, and I think maybe he got the energy. Like, it's the Blessed Mother on there. You don't want to mess with her. So he let that go. But
so you turned over your whole wallet, or was it just the cash?
It was just the cash.
Okay,
yeah.
I was going to ask about IDs and stuff.
I left my passport in the rooms. I had my phone with me, so I showed him my. He was pretty thorough as far as portraying himself as a police officer.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was the first real bad thing that ever happened to me in probably, 30 trips out of the country. Never had anything like that happen. And,
wow.
That's the last time I had traveled.
You're still going to go, though, right?
I'm still going to go. Oh, yeah, that's not going to stop
me. You're wiser now.
I'm wiser now. I tell the story, and, there's a lot of bad stories about things I don't go out. I don't drink at the bars there, so I don't have to worry about people dosing me with any scopolamine or anything like that. But that's a serious thing in these tourist cities in South America, where they'll put it right. It's like taking 20 Xanax and they drop it in your drink, and you're sleeping for 3 days and getting robbed for everything. So you don't want to drink out in these places.
Yeah. I guess we have time real quick. I actually got what I think was roofied at a bar in Montreal years ago. I told the story on the air before. I went up with, I was going to school at Plattsburgh, and some of us were over 21 or about 21, and some of us were 19 or 20. And so in Canada, you can drink at 18. So we planned this trip. We go up there, and there's this bar in the middle of nowhere, and they're doing this special where it's you buy a draft, and they were giving it to you in a red Solo cup. It was buy one, get two free. So there's like 8 of us. So we got like 24 cups of beer all at once. So we put them on this round tabletop, and then we were like playing darts or whatever. And so you finish a beer, and you go over, you just grab a cup. It was all the same kind of beer. We had, like I said, 20-something cups among the 8 of us. And I think one of the guys put in something in the drink. He thought it was for one of the girls. And I don't mean one of the guys with us. I mean one of the locals out there.
Canadians.
Yeah. And I grabbed that cup, and I was there for half an hour. It was like 9:30 at night. This bar's open until 4. I told my roommate, I go, dude, I need the keys to your car. I got to go lay down. I don't know what's going on. The room was spinning. I was really exhausted. Next thing I know, they're getting back into the car, and I said, oh, hey, you came and get me up. Oh, let's go have a good time. They go, it's almost 4:30 in the morning. You've been sleeping for like 7 hours. Or 6.5 hours. And somebody clearly put something in that drink. Yeah. There's no question. After a beer and a half, for me to have to sleep for 6.5 hours. I didn't get robbed or anything, thank goodness, and nobody on our group got hurt.
Watch those Canadians, huh?
I guess so. All right, so one more time. Beef and Bird, give us the hours, and same thing for 1886.
Tuesday through Saturday. We open at 11 o'clock on Tuesday. We're closed at 7. We run until Saturday. 1886 Prime, it's open from Wednesday to Sunday. We open at 4 o'clock down there during the week. We run till 9. We got daily specials on Facebook on 1886 Prime every day. Beef and Bird, we're bringing in a few new items here and there. I got a new long hot giardiniera it's a condiment for the roast beef sandwiches. Nobody's done this. Come down and try this. You can add it to a French dip, or I may even sell an Italian beef sandwich this week. I'm not sure, but it's available.
Very cool. Tucker, great job as always. Thank you, man.
Utica and the Mohawk Valley, Mattress Express's President's Day sale is on from upstate New York's largest specialty bedding retailer. No one else in New York State has all the brands under one roof that we do. And right now, save up to $1,350 on names like Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, Sealy, Purple, Puffy, the Smart Bed by Instant Comfort, Posh & Lavish, Therapeutic, Simmons Beauty Rest, Black Serta, iComfort, Avocado, and more. A full line of spa-grade massage chairs take up to 5 years to pay with no money down for qualified buyers and no credit check payment plans. In Rome, on Black River Boulevard in the Black River Plaza. In Oneida, in the Glenwood Plaza by the movie theaters. In New Hartford on Commercial Drive next to Pet Supplies Plus. Go to mattressexpressny.com. Call 1-800-NEW-BEDS. Don't overpay for your next mattress. Come to upstate New York's largest specialty bedding retailer, Mattress Express.
Possibility starts with the right financial solutions from AmeriQ Credit Union. Get started today at ameriq.org/possibility.
Areas of fog here this morning with patchy light rain and drizzle possible. Otherwise, mostly cloudy today. Temperatures approaching 40 this afternoon. 30 tonight. Rain mixing with snow at times on Wednesday. High temperatures tomorrow, mid-30s. Mix of clouds and sunshine Thursday, upper 30s. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone from the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX. Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
What were you saying? It was there was a little sleet out there this morning, Sal? Yeah, it was a little bit of a mix when I was pulling in.
All right. In studio right now is Sal Barbero. Sal is with the Mohawk Valley Umpire Association. And today in Major League Baseball, pitchers and catchers report. This is always that point where we kind of know we're moving in the right direction.
Yes.
Does that make any sense?
Yes, although Sal just hit me literally before the bumper played. You said, I've got some bad news. And I said, what is it? And you said, I'll tell you on the air. So everybody's going to get this at the same time that I am.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I ran into an umpire yesterday, and he told me that he has to stop. Can't umpire anymore. Vinny Source. Very good umpire.
Yeah.
Chris Sebastian.
Right.
He's done, which we know why, but...
So
yeah, we lost two very, very good umpires.
Yeah.
Could I get you to move? See there how that turns on that by your cell phone even further, even a little further.
Right on the corner there, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's funny because, I'll just mention this. Vinny and I did a game. I don't know if it was the end of this summer. Did he? He said to me, "That's my last game," and I said, "No way. Was I that bad? I retired you. You don't want to be seen out here with guys like me anymore."
Well, he did say that for 2 straight years.
Okay, so maybe it was the end of last summer. I thought it was, but they talked him into coming back again,
and he did.
He was an excellent athlete in his days and an excellent umpire.
He was
as well.
So you're looking for new umpires?
Yeah, it's that time again.
Desperately.
The
Yeah.
class is pushed back a little bit this year. Typically, it's like the third week in February it starts.
End of February.
Yeah, but now it'll be the first week in March it starts.
March 2nd.
Would you accept a female?
Yeah, we do.
We have a female
some.
umpire.
Okay.
We have one.
The Du Bois baseball.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool.
She's gonna be. This is gonna be her 3rd year. She does a good job.
Yeah.
Real good job.
Yeah.
It's all about being able to see balls and strikes, right? Yeah. Okay. Tell us about the job.
What do you want to know? Tell me.
If somebody
the good, the bad
might be like sitting right now saying, I might be interested in being an umpire.
All you got to do is come to a class at Notre Dame High School cafeteria on March 2nd. It's a Monday from 6 to 8:30. Used to be 6 to 9, so they toned it down a half hour.
All right.
From 6 to 8:30. Bring a pen, bring a notebook, and bring $20. That's all you need.
Yep.
Okay.
You get a rule book. Bill, you said it's all about calling balls and strikes, and that's a big chunk of it. But in all honesty, it's a lot more than that. As long as you're consistent, you usually, the coaches and the players and the parents won't complain too much. But really, it's knowing a lot of rules. It's knowing the rules of the game, specifically for the high school game. For instance, there are situations where you might be watching a Yankee game or a Met game, and you go, oh, I know that rule.
Yeah.
Well, it might be different for high school baseball. Perfect example, high school baseball. Like in pro baseball, if the coach comes to the mound twice in an inning, you got to take your pitcher out. Well, in high school baseball, you get 3 visits per game. So the coach can come out twice in the inning, and you don't have to take the pitcher out, right? And you'll hear maybe some parents or someone, hey, it's his second visit. He's got to come out. Well, there's some different rules.
I remember and unfortunately, along with this, is you may, depending on the level, the rules might be different. And then travel ball rules can be different. Because I do remember we had a situation when my son was playing travel ball. Somebody, the coach, the manager, went out. So the rule there was twice. Mm-hmm. He went out a second time. He didn't keep track, and they had to pull in like the 3rd inning. They had to pull their star pitcher. And the parents were livid. Yeah. But you can't get around it. It's over now.
Yeah, they're like Jeff said. There's a lot of different rules.
Yeah, you have to know.
Major League Baseball and high school baseball. So
I got to say, did you watch the Super Bowl?
I did, but not all of it.
Yeah. Did you notice had the referees had the same type of no call attitude that they had in the Super Bowl? Had they had that same attitude during the Bills game, the Bills probably would have won that game.
Yeah.
I mean, they
didn't throw their first flag till like just before halftime. I think it was.
Got punched in the face.
I saw that.
Knocked over and then punched in the face, and they didn't throw a flag.
And I couldn't
believe it.
He hit the referee too in the face.
I could not believe
they showed
didn't.
a slow motion. His
Yeah.
fist and it hit the guy in his face. He didn't throw a flag.
What was going on there? I don't get it. What, Davey? Nothing? Okay. Mm-hmm. All right.
So my buddy Greg Gator just texted me. He said opening day starts in 4 weeks at Murnane Field.
Wow. Well, maybe we'll be okay this year. You just don't know. You don't know what to expect. We could have snow into May, for God's sakes.
I'm sorry. What did you ask me?
Nothing. You were looking like there was a problem, and you made me nervous.
No, I'm okay.
You want to know if you should call Joe? Count to 123 times. Okay.
So, Sal, the classes begin, what's that, a Monday, March 2nd, 6 to 8:30, but it's, instruction from veteran guys who have done it, including yourself, who have done this for a very long time. It is going over the book, explaining rules, breaking down situations. It's
mechanics.
Yeah, you don't get overwhelmed. Some of it's like book learning, and then some of it you go in the gym and you do the mechanics. Where are you supposed to be? If
Personality is also a big deal.
Yeah.
You got to be able to handle somebody screaming at you.
Yeah, I've said this before. I think parents sometimes get a little out of hand, but sometimes you blow a call, maybe you deserve an earful. At least I know I have before.
Well,
oh, man. I guess I deserve that.
Like I say every year, we go through so much in such a short time.
Yeah.
And we tell these guys, you got to take the book, you got to read it when you go home, on your break, whatever you got to do. But like Jeff said, it's mechanics too. It's just not the rules. You got to know where to be on the field at all times in a two-man crew.
All right. So how do they, if they want to start the process of becoming a baseball umpire, what do they do?
Like I said, show up March 2nd, Notre Dame High School from 6 to 8:30 in the cafeteria. Also, go on our website, mvbua.com, Mohawk Valley Baseball Umpire.com. There's a lot of videos on there, a lot of links, a lot of information, a lot of videos that you can learn. When I became, we didn't have any of that stuff. We didn't even have mechanics when I started as an umpire.
Do you find it's become a problem, either one of you, it's become a problem where parents are videotaping in the stands and they'll be like, you missed that call, and they'll literally try to show you the video?
It's happened to me.
Yeah.
It's happened to me a few times.
What do you do in that?
I just ignore it.
You made the call.
I ignore it.
Yeah.
Because then you just open up a can of worms.
Yeah, there is no instant replay in high school ball?
No.
No.
I'm saying that facetiously, but
and I think
our games would be 4 hours.
Yeah,
they would be. But I mean, even if, like, let's say there's a parent along the first base line who's like, "Oh, you missed that. He was safe at first," and then you go over and look at the video, and then you say, "You know what? I was wrong. He got him he beat the throw by a step." Then I think you open up a door for the other team. They can file a protest.
What a mess,
right? So I don't even entertain it.
When my son played, I remember a game that ended their high school season. It was in the playoffs, and it was an out. They were making a comeback, and it was an out at first base. The third out ended the game, and he was clearly safe. And there was a parent that came out of the stands and was arguing with now that's you as a parent you can't come out and argue with the umpire.
No.
But it went on and no change was made. That was a long time ago.
I told you the story before.
Yeah.
One example that I had, my late friend John Emy, we were doing a game. This was probably 8-9 years ago. Travel ball, summer, it was beautiful. I was on a Sunday doubleheader. I had to play the first game. So North Utica, they're right on you. The fans are right up against the fence. So there was a foul tip. Kid from first goes to second. Legal. And I hear this female fan going ballistic on me. That's a foul ball. He's got to go back to first base. I didn't say nothing. I didn't even turn around and say boo.
Yeah.
Game ends. The Italian kicked in me. We go back to our vehicles, and I get the rule book, and I ripped out the page that had the foul tip rule in it. And now we're changing for our second game. We're going back to the fence, and she's got her head down. She did not want to look at me. So I handed the rule right through the little fence, through the whole of the fence. I said, here you go, ma'am. I was being respectful.
Yeah.
And she said, no, I apologize. She said, all these fans said that I was wrong.
Yeah.
So,
well, in that case, the batter has to follow the foul tip rules. But if you're on the bases, you could still be thrown out if you get off the bag.
it's a live ball.
Yeah,
that's live ball.
She kept. I never heard of a foul tip. When was that rule ever? I said probably the last 100 years. I don't know.
They call it the double day rule. I don't know. When did they?
You brought up a good point too. A lot of times when there is a disagreement or something, other parents will step up and go, "No, that was the right call. What do you stop yelling? What do you yelling?"
All right. Again, the website is
mvbua.com.
Okay, mvbua.com.
Mohawk Valley Baseball Umpires Association.
And
a lot of information. I was just on it.
Kevin did a real good job. With
3-4 days ago. Kevin. Simons from Rome does a great job with that.
And you can make a little money. I mean, you can make some decent money.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So there you go.
And it's funny you brought that up. We just got a raise in all high school level again, and it's going to increase 27, 28, 29, and 30, we were told.
Okay.
So
you'll be increases each year.
That's high school ball.
Okay. Yeah. What do you get paid for a high school game?
Right now?
Yeah.
This year it's going to be 122.
Well, that's not bad.
No, it's not.
A doubleheader, same. You get paid twice.
Yeah.
All right, that's good.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, Sal. As
Thank you.
always, glad to see we're talking about baseball. Before you know it, it'll be the Masters, and then we'll know it's springtime.
Hello, friends.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babel. Babel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. Babbel.com.
Warner Sales and Service, building relationships, building trust.
According to Punxsutawney Phil, winter is here to stay. Here in Central New York, we just never know what to expect. Bobcat equipment can keep you working through whatever Mother Nature sends our way. Bobcat machines, including skid steer loaders, track loaders, and excavators, are fast, maneuverable, and deliver plenty of traction for working in deep snow or mud. In all kinds of weather, Bobcat machines deliver low ground disturbance, excellent traction, impressive pushing power, and a smooth ride for all-day working comfort. So whether it's snow or mud that won't quit, you won't have to quit either thanks to Bobcat. Push it to the limit with Bobcat machines and attachments from Warner Sales and Service. If you haven't been to see them, take a ride today. They're easy to find and anxious to meet you just off Route 365 between Rome and Verona on the Greenway New London Road.
Warner's, where quality still counts. At Warner's.
Crime is already skyrocketing in 2026. You may already own a firearm, but before you face the financial, legal, and emotional weight of pulling the trigger, there's a smarter option. Burna, that's B-Y-R-N-A. Burna makes less lethal launchers that fire tear gas and kinetic rounds designed to stop an attacker for up to 40 minutes, giving you time to escape and call for help without deadly consequences. Their best-selling compact launcher is sleek, slim, and incredibly powerful. About the size of a smartphone, it's ideal for concealed carry, comfortable, discreet, and confidence building. It fires at 400 feet per second with serious stopping power, enough to shut down a threat fast without the legal and moral complexity of lethal force. Burna is proudly American. Over 85% of components are U.S. sourced, and every launcher is hand-assembled in Fort Wayne, Indiana. With over 750,000 sold worldwide, Burna is best in class, and it's legal in all 50 states. No background checks, shipped straight to your door. Visit Burna.com today and find the right launcher for your family. That's BYRNA.com.
First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
Here's Joe Beatus. Joe is a councilman in the city of Utica. Joseph, good morning. Good morning.
Hey, Bill. Thanks for having me. I just want to piggyback on Sal's interview. I'm involved with the women's high school softball.
Yes.
I'm the assigner, and so we're going through that same thing. We started our classes. I think they start this week. If anybody's out there is interested, reach out to me, and I'll direct them to the right.
Okay. All right. Very, very cool.
Oh, you guys start this early?
Yeah, we got 3 weeks of classes. I'm pretty sure it starts this week or next week. You got 3 weeks classes, Tuesday and Thursday night. The fees are the same. The only thing I can tell you about the softball, we're probably about 45 minutes to an hour faster than hardball. So some people try to.
Right.
And we've actually had pretty good luck so far this year. We have at our executive board meeting, we had 10 new members signed up for the class. You know, they always sign up. We'll see what happens, but if we can get 8 of them, that'd be great.
Yeah,
you know?
same with us. We've been going through the same year with that.
Joe looks like he kind of looks like an old time 1960s umpire that would be in a magazine photo or something. He's got that.
Joe just took a shot at baseball.
He did.
Wait, what did he say?
He said softball games are quicker.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I've been a salesman my whole life, and that's my job.
All right, fair enough.
Got to go out and sell the positives, you know?
Yeah. Have a Coke and a smile. Come on.
You know what we say? No, I know we got to go really quick. And like if I'm going to do a baseball game, let's say in Frankfurt, and the softball game is going to start at the same time as the baseball game, we always say, let's beat the softball game.
That's good.
And guess what? In the last couple of years, that's happened because we all know the quality of ball, baseball and softball. It's a little bit different from when we used to play. So,
yeah, it's that's in all sports right now. Okay, right. Joe, quickly, you wanted to talk about the opening of Val Bialis, and you were fuming and angry yesterday. What's wrong? What are you upset about?
You know what, Bill? I love you. You always want to say I'm fuming and angry. I wasn't fuming and angry.
You were spitting. You were sputtering. It was crazy.
No, the only thing that bothers me is that ski hill hasn't been open in 12 years. And, I mean, this should be, Friday afternoon, I'd like to see a ton of people there, even electeds, and be happy about this. Not sitting arguing over a rate and, basically having a special meeting. They come up with legislation, and then they want to amend the legislation because they want it to be free for the entire year. I mean, it just bothers me. A lot of the stuff that I witnessed in the last 2 years on the council really bothers me. And these are the same people for the most part. There's some new players, but for the most part, under the prior administration, they took their marching orders from the top. They send legislation down 5 minutes in and vote on it. Now, anything that goes on now, put it in committee, fight it. They're always constantly negative toward the mayor. They've actually came out on the floor and said, we're not doing this because we don't trust you. Now,
you had it. See, he is mad. Can you tell? He's fuming. He's spitting. He's sputtering.
Well, I'm not fuming. But Bill, you know what? I've been there. This is my 7th year. I've been in the minority. My vote has rarely ever meant anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I never in the first 4 years ever disrespected the mayor on the floor. I had issues with him.
Yeah.
And we go up and fight, okay? I'm talking the prior mayor.
Yes.
And, I mean, it's just disheartening. Everything in this world cannot be free. Okay? I mean,
how much is it to ski?
Well, we don't really. So
well, they had the rates. They showed it on the TV.
Okay. There is no skiing.
There is no rate. There is no rate right now because the legislation's in committee.
Yeah,
So
but it's
let me just
proposed to be
explain- let me
essentially
explain
$20 for 4 hours.
Okay, got it.
Right?
Right.
Is that accurate? Yeah.
No, it's 20. No, that's not true, Jeff. It's going to be $20 for the day.
Okay.
Now,
Right,
but
which
let
it's
me
open
explain-
from what? 4 to 8, right? It's only open for 4 or 5 hours a day.
Not on the weekends. It's open all day.
Okay. Okay.
Next week when the kids are off school, it's going to be open all day.
But that's a
So let
special
me explain something
circumstance.
to you. Let me explain something to you. The charter, the city charter, has not been updated since 1964. So the ski hill hasn't been open for the last 11 years, okay? Prior administrations, whoever was running it, they charged whatever they wanted to charge. Mayor Galimi came out, he sent stuff to the council, suggested rates, okay? He didn't say we're charging that price. He suggested, okay? And, you know, it turns into like a whole crazy deal. To me, what I would do if it was up to me, you got 6 weeks left in the season.
Maybe
I
you
would
buy a
just
season
charge
pass.
No, I wouldn't even sell
No.
that. We need to know how many people it's going to go, what it's going to take to run. Okay? I would have a flat rate, $20 or $25 for non-city residents, maybe $20 for city residents all day.
Okay.
Maybe the first week you could go with free to get them to try it.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
The way it is now, it's so political that no matter what he says, they attack him.
Well,
I mean, these are the same.
Yeah.
Wait, one last point. These are the same people that the prior administration, mayor wanted to run for 4 years. They brought it to the council and voted against what the people wanted.
But you have to admit though that when Paul Mary was in office, that's what they said. They're like, no matter what we do, no matter what the mayor does, the council is against it.
Well, he had a majority on the council.
Right.
Wait a second.
But the
That's
Republicans.
false.
Yeah.
Oh, right, but we never have a say.
Right. I understand that.
And you know what? I'm not complaining. We need to get more people in there to get the majority, and we don't have it.
Let me ask you this final question. I mean, I got to say, we've had a wonderful winter for snow and winter sports. I'm glad to see that we're opening up on February 17th. I mean, we may see the winter may be coming to a close here.
Okay, so the reason it wasn't open before, which I'm sure you don't know.
I don't know.
The two hills, we had to install snowmaking equipment that we never had. They were installing the pipes and everything under the hills. That just got done.
And that was the
why
reason.
that wasn't
All right.
done.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, I understand that that it is
You know what? I just
frustrating.
ask people out there. I just ask people, do the right thing.
Yeah.
You know, I got on the council to help people out. People call me. That's what I like. You call me up, I could try to do things. I'm not out here to degrade anybody or hurt anybody. Let's do the right thing. Let's make our city good. You know what I mean?
All right.
It's a positive thing. Why do we got to fight about everything?
Welcome to politics. It feels that way, doesn't it?
I know.
All right.
I know, but you should fight over different things, not
I know.
positive stuff.
Okay, Joe. So it is opening next week and
Friday.
On Friday. That's
Friday.
and be open for the weekend. All right. Good stuff, Joe. Thank you, and go back to walking.
Good to talk to you.
Okay.
Thank
His
you.
boots are made for walking. He's walking at the mall.
Yes, I am.
Let me tell you, you would think that mall was popular and killing it in the mornings because everybody's over there. They're not buying anything, but they're walking like you wouldn't believe. It's unbelievable. Okay, Joe. Thanks.
Thanks a lot.
All right, we'll do Habaika's free.
Celebrating 100 years.
Anything else you want over there? Okay. Sorry.
Okay, this is a press release from cityofutica.com, and Joe is, he made the point about next week the kids are off from school. So this is what's proposed. All lift tickets through the break are $20 a day. So Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. to 9, that's 8 hours. Saturdays, noon to 9, that's 9 hours. Sunday, 12 to 4. But under typical operating hours, they're open Wednesday through Friday, 4 to 9.
Okay.
Saturday, 12 to 9. Sunday, 12 to 4. Most days you're talking 4 or 5 hours.
Is this finalized now?
No, it's not. They're still debating it.
And it opens Friday. Well, let's wait. Let's not get a decision too early, right?
The other thing is, oh, shoot, I think you just made me forget my point. The 12 to 9, 12 to 4. I also questioned why it was opening so late, and I understand it has to do with that equipment. Oh, the point is...
The problem is you didn't know that we were going to have a snowy winter when they decided to put in the equipment. It's a shame it couldn't have been put in earlier, but it is what it is.
The other point
Next year will be better.
There's been some criticism, I think rightfully so, that in the past 3 years, taxes have gone up like 20% in the city of Utica. It was a 10-year. There was a 10%. Yeah. There was. I don't know how you can complain about that if you think all this stuff should be free. That there's not a cost. There's liability there. Like the city's got to get something in return. And I heard someone say, "Well, it's only 10 or 12 grand." Well, yeah, but that stuff adds up.
Okay, you're absolutely right.
The President's Day sale is on at Mattress Express. Save up to $1,350 on New York State's largest selection from New York State's largest specialty bedding retailer. Go to mattressexpressny.com.
I was ordering food for the office from the same few places for too long.
For workplaces suffering with office food fatigue, every day's a struggle.
Before starting Easy Cater, I assumed having no good vegan options for Carl in finance was normal.
Easy Cater is designed to treat OFF with a huge variety of favorite restaurants, plus tools to help you meet dietary needs and stay on budget. Used daily, one platform lets you save time and shine. Ask your app store about Easy Cater or start an order at easycater.com.
80 years ago in Little Falls, a dream was built, one board at a time. Through hard work, honesty, and a commitment to doing things the right way, that dream became 3 generations strong. A lot has changed over the past 8 decades, but our promise remains the same. Quality materials and personal service you can count on. Thank you to our customers for 80 incredible years. Little Falls Lumber, built on trust since day one, and we look forward to serving you in the future.
Is your business the best at what you do? Then you should be a Central New York's Industry Ace. Our Industry Aces are made up of the best businesses in the region, and we'll help you tell your story to thousands of consumers in the Mohawk Valley. With a combination of on-air and online testimonial commercials, along with targeted social media ads that are guaranteed to reach the consumers you want to be talking to. And best of all, these messages are coming directly from you. Interested in learning more? Contact Megan Powers at 315-768-9500.
Hurt in a car? Call William Attar. 315-444-4444.
First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
All right, I'm going to take John Decker.
Oh, John's on the line. Right ahead.
Let me go to John Decker, Chief White House Correspondent with Gray TV. John, good morning.
Hey, good morning to you, Bill. Hope you're having a good day and a good week so far.
Yeah, it's 50 degrees warmer than it was Monday.
And still below freezing. And still below freezing.
Wow.
And
that's
snowing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean,
it'll be warm before you know it.
It will
Spring
be.
will be here before you know it.
The pools will be open, the joy and the happiness.
There you go.
It's going to be great. All right. What are you working on today?
Well, I'm working on a few things. One thing that you may have noticed yesterday is the House voting against the president's tariffs.
I was
Canada.
really surprised by this. Yeah.
6 House Republicans joined with every House Democrat in voting against those tariffs. Now that resolution goes over to the Senate. They're likely to pass it because you just need a simple majority on this type of bill in the U.S. Senate. It'll go to President Trump's desk. He'll veto it, and there are not enough votes in either the House or the Senate to override that presidential veto. But it shows you that Republicans are not all in line behind the president concerning some of his tariffs and his tariffs policy.
Well, this could not have been accomplished 6 months ago.
I agree. Yeah, things have changed. And, you have certain members who may be leaving Congress that are voting that way, and the same thing happening on the Senate side. So the dynamics have changed, and it's an election year. It's the midterm elections. And for certain members, they're voting the way they would vote, whether it was Barack Obama, who's in the White House, or Donald Trump in the White House. They simply believe that when it comes to tariffs, you need buy-in from Congress. You can't have a president do that unilaterally.
What's the general take on the Pam Bondi testimony yesterday?
Wow, fireworks, contentious to say the least. Look, I have a problem with that, in terms of the lack of decorum that existed yesterday in the House Judiciary Committee, not only from members, but also from the Attorney General. You should not be calling a member of Congress a loser, in congressional testimony. That, I think, is over the line. That being said, I don't think anybody's apologizing. I think that those House members that, got into it with Pam Bondi got high fives from their staff, and I think Pam Bondi got high fives from her staff, and maybe even a congratulatory phone call from President Trump. So that's just the new norm, I think, when you see these contentious hearings happening on the Capitol Hill.
And then where are, watching this Epstein stuff.
Yes.
How, this could be anywhere from nothing to it's the cover-up that's always going to get you. How serious is this politically, do you feel, at this point?
Well, it's pretty serious. You see how it's impacting, individuals whose names have been mentioned in these files that have been released so far. In the UK, you see this, the royal family. I mean, also keep in mind, Bill, not all of the files have come out yet. There's still 3 million files that have yet to be released by the Department of Justice. So this is an issue that's not going away anytime soon, and I don't know where it ends. I don't know who's going to be mentioned in there. That being said, just because your name's mentioned in those files does not mean that you committed any type of criminal wrongdoing. That being said, I would not want to be connected to Jeffrey Epstein. He is a bad person. He was a bad person, and that's pretty clear based upon what's come out so far in these emails.
Yeah, and I feel like it would have been so much better for some of these people to have told the truth in the very beginning, because now the focus is on, well, why didn't you tell us you were still talking and communicating and going on his boat into the 2010s, well into the 2010s? It just makes you, it makes the rest of us think more is being covered up here.
Well, that's exactly right, and I think that, for certain members whose names are mentioned in these files, I think they were just like praying beyond anything that these files.
WIBX Utica Road, W295 Utica. From the WB Tate Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
This is a Fox News alert. The Reverend Jesse Jackson has died. I'm Dave Anthony. The civil rights leader was 84.
I would like to be measured by my box score, not by the home run or the strikeout, but being a long-distance servant.
Jesse Jackson's family put out a statement. He helped shape a global movement for freedom and dignity and died peacefully this morning.
Jackson had been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease in 2013. In April, that diagnosis changed to progressive supranuclear palsy, a neurological disorder. Jackson gained prominence during the civil rights movement, working alongside Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He ran for the Democratic presidential nomination twice, in 1984 and 1988. Jackson founded the Rainbow Push Coalition, an advocacy organization aimed at changing public policy and expanding opportunities for minorities.
Fox's Madeline Rivera. A police officer is being mourned in Indiana after being shot and killed responding to a disturbance in Beech Grove in the Indianapolis area. Another officer was wounded, and after a manhunt, the suspected gunman was found late last night. Shots also fired at a high school hockey game in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. 2 people were killed, 3 critically wounded.
An ATF source tells us that the gunman shot his wife and 2 kids before turning the gun on himself, dying from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Police have identified the shooter as 56-year-old Robert Borgen, but say he may have identified as transgender, going by the name Roberta Esposito.
Fox's Todd Pyro. There are 2 sets of talks going on in Geneva. The U.S. is brokering peace negotiations between Russia and Ukraine, and the U.S. and Iran are talking through a mediator as President Trump threatens another attack if Iran doesn't scale back its nuclear program.
Iran's supreme leader is watching U.S. warships amass in the Arabian Sea, but more dangerous than a warship, says Ayatollah Khamenei, is the weapon that can send it to the bottom of the sea.
America's listening to Fox News.
Living with everyday pain is like having a voice that always says, no, you can't do that. No, you better sit this one out. It's no way to live. So if pain is affecting you, see how Relief Factor can help get you back to life on your terms. One where you say yes a lot more. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor's unique formula of natural ingredients does not just mask pain, it helps reduce or eliminate it for good. Whether it's your back, neck, joints, or muscles, Relief Factor can help you, as it has for so many others. So call 1-800-4-RELIEF and give Relief Factor's 3-week quick start a try. It's only $19.95, less than $1 a day to get your life back. Just go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. And see how you can say yes to more of everything you want.
Again, our top Fox News story, the Reverend Jesse Jackson has died, a civil rights leader for decades. He was 84. That is also Nancy Guthrie's age. She's still missing. And on day 17 of the search, we're still waiting on results of DNA testing on a glove found near the Guthrie home in Arizona, a glove similar to what that masked man was seen wearing in video captured around the time of Guthrie's kidnapping.
As for the Guthrie family, yesterday, Sheriff Manos released a statement clearing them of any wrongdoing, saying the Guthrie family are victims, plain and simple. Quote, to be clear, the Guthrie family, to include all siblings and spouses, has been cleared as possible suspects in this case. The family has been nothing but cooperative and gracious and are victims in this case.
That's Fox's Brian Yennis in Tucson. Another legal setback in another controversy for the Trump administration. A judge ordering a slavery exhibit that was taken down in Philadelphia be restored. It featured 9 people enslaved by former President George Washington.
A federal judge ruling that all materials must be restored in their original condition. The exhibit includes biographical details about each of the enslaved persons, including 2 who escaped. Judge Cynthia Roof, an appointee of President George W. Bush, had warned lawyers for the Justice Department during a hearing last month that they were making dangerous and horrifying statements when they said Trump officials can choose which parts of U.S. history to display at National Park Service sites. The judge did not provide a timeline for when the exhibit must be restored. Federal officials can appeal the ruling. Lisa Lacera, Fox News.
On Wall Street's falling futures indicate stocks may drop after a Monday holiday on top of last week's losses for the Dow and the NASDAQ. At the Winter Olympics, the U.S. has 19 medals, third behind the leader Norway, and one of the golds was in bobsled. Alana Myers-Taylor, the oldest Winter Olympian ever to win a gold medal in an individual event. She's 41. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Areas of fog here this morning with patchy light rain and drizzle possible. Otherwise, mostly cloudy today. Temperatures approaching 40 this afternoon. 30 tonight. Rain mixing with snow at times on Wednesday. High temperatures tomorrow, mid-30s. Mix of clouds and sunshine Thursday, upper 30s. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone from the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Something old is new in the village of New Hartford. Introducing Handshake Antiques, now open at 66 Genesee Street, next to Giorgio's Village Cafe. Not your grandma's antique shop. Think clean, curated, and cool. From high-end furniture, vintage fashion, vinyl records, to oddities and all things eclectic. And we're always buying, so look in your attic or basement. And if it's old, call Handshake Antiques. Plus, inventory changes weekly, so every visit is a new find. Handshake Antiques, where it never went out of style.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term.
Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Is your business the best at what you do? Then you should be a Central New York's industry ace. Our industry aces are made up of the best businesses in the region, and we'll help you tell your story to thousands of consumers in the Mohawk Valley. With a combination of on-air and online testimonial commercials, along with targeted social media ads that are guaranteed to reach the consumers you want to be talking to. And best of all, these messages are coming directly from you. Interested in learning more? Contact Megan Powers at 315-768-9500.
Hey, it's your radio buddy Jimmy Fiola, host of Fox Across America. We're talking politics, pop culture, and comedy, minus all the rage and finger-pointing. It's real talk for real people who just want to laugh, think, maybe learn something along the way. So join the fun weekdays at noon right here on WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, Central New York's home for talk that's smart, honest, and just the right amount of crazy. Fox Across America with your main man, Jimmy Fiola.
First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
Nice and tight. Get right up there under the microphone, everybody. In studio right now, we have Michael Brown and Mandy Drake. Michael is running for Onieda County Clerk. Mandy is running for New York State Senate. Guys, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's start with you, Michael. Why are you running for county clerk?
Why am I running? Well, the busiest people are the ones that do these things. I don't just blithely walk into a race like this because it's a lot of work.
And both of you, by the way, are running as Democrats, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And I really did my homework before I jumped into this one because it's I don't want to just run to run, and I don't want to just run because I think that, and even though I do think everybody needs to have a challenger, I'm far too busy a person to do that. So I really jumped into this once I realized that there were some systemic issues at hand that needed to be addressed.
What issues concern you?
Issues that concern me basically have to do with personnel and the some of the. I'm finding that there's a lot of issues with DiNapoli's audit recently that came out, his 18-page audit, started to point to some sort of systemic management issues that I think need to be addressed as far as accountability. As far as are you
specific?
Are you aware of that?
I guess I'm not, but if you.
Okay, yeah. Well, Thomas DiNapoli, the state comptroller, came down with an 18-page audit of some things that were going on specifically in the clerk's department that had to do with reporting, and they said it wasn't things that were going to be necessarily, it could point ultimately to misappropriation of funds, that sort of thing, but it didn't. But they were concerned about that because it was timeliness of remittances that were going on for weeks and weeks and then months and months that checks weren't being cashed, basically. And I think things were being put in a drawer and forgotten. And a lot of it had to do with the fact that I think that there was a brain drain when Sandy DiPerno left office. And when the new administration came in, I think that some things were missed. I think that, and I understand that.
So you feel Mary Finnegan is not doing a good job?
I think that what's going on in that office is that it's a top-down management style. I think that my management style is much more bottom-up. It's very much, my management style is I would never ask anybody to do anything that I wouldn't be willing to do myself, and I would be in the trenches making sure that everybody had the tools that they need in order to do a good job, because that's just me. And I think that...
And tell everybody your background.
My background, I was an educator for a long time at a private school out east. I started working at a very young age, so I have a really strong work ethic. My dad was actually a Republican. He was a very active Republican. I was out in Ohio growing up. And I was taught from an early age public service and hard work, and so from the age of 15 I've been working. I put myself through college working because when in high school I started working as a lab assistant at the local hospital. Put myself through college as a phlebotomist and EKG tech, and I was always going to be a medical professional, and I ended up in teaching theater, theater arts, technical theater arts, sound, lighting design, that sort of thing. But all that time, I was a crazy workaholic. I'm very type A. I was a medical text editor for a number of years. And then I went into, I edited medical text for Harvard Medical and also Tufts in Boston for years when I wasn't teaching. And then when I moved to Rome, I started working in economic development. I worked with the Main Street program in Rome, so I worked with many administrations in Rome over the years. And in most recent years, I had Cappuccino's Coffee House in Rome. We closed Cappuccino's a couple years ago. We've been working on a new venture, which is going to be called The Raven, and it's going to be more of an English-style pub. Right. And so that's happening this spring. So my background, and then in there also, when I wasn't teaching, I was cleaning up big box stores for Borders books. Way back when in the 90s, I would go in and actually sort of sort the staffing.
What school, by the way? When you said out east, what school were you?
I taught at Andover, Phillips Andover.
Okay. Also in studio is Mandy Drake. Mandy is running for the New York State Senate seat currently held by Senator Joe Griffo. Mandy, tell us about you.
Hi, good morning. So I have a educational background in fine arts, and I kind of took a non-linear path to office, so to speak. I took the advocate/activist to politician route as opposed to some more traditional, political science, law, etc. So another creative in the house like Mike, but I spent a lot of time doing, over the years, activism in various ways. I campaigned for Bernie Sanders in 2016 and 2020. I have advocated for women's rights and mitigation of sentences in the cannabis space when New York legalized and when it became legalized for adult use and people were still serving prison sentences, nonviolent ones. For that, I was a really big champion of changing the script on that. And I actually won a national award from Leafly magazine in doing so. So a little bit of a non-traditional background, I would say, but I'm running because as a millennial Gen Z cusper, I've directly faced the consequences of the decision-making of the people that are currently in office across the board. And I think that young people are very disenfranchised with the current status of things. And I think that they need more leaders to look to that they know have their back. I have a working class upbringing myself. My parents are both nurses. Everybody else but me is in the medical field. So,
okay, all right,
yeah.
What do you feel Joe Griffo is doing? What is he doing wrong?
That's a loaded question.
Well, I mean, you're running.
Yeah, of course. No, yeah. So when it comes to Senator Griffo, I know that he's kind of this paragon of local politics, and he's been in the business as long as I've been alive. I think he worked in the office back in Rome in the early 90s and has been the mayor of Rome and worked in various positions ever since. So he's been in it a long time.
And you were born what year?
1994.
94, okay.
Yes.
All right, I think that's probably right in that area where Joe was mayor. Yeah.
So Joe is a little bit of a staple, a bit of a fixture. He's not a bad guy. I just think that some of his choices in office have kind of read to me as a young person, to many people as everyday working class folks, is out of touch.
Give me an example.
Of course. So a lot of it, for me, I have a big issue with the infrastructure legislation. So when that was brought to the floor, he voted against it and then kind of had the nerve to pose with some of the ribbon cuttings of the projects that were built or, brought up to speed as a result of that funding.
Infrastructure, what was the infrastructure bill?
The infrastructure, just various.
Was it Biden's infrastructure bill?
Correct, yeah.
He wouldn't vote on that, though.
What's that?
He wouldn't be able to vote on that.
Well, it was a statewide funding allocation that was based on the infrastructure bill.
Okay.
And then he also has a history of voting against bodily autonomy in the women's rights space, which, I take issue with, of course.
I will look into that because I don't know anything about that, but I wouldn't want to do anything against women, just for the record. That sounds like such a big term. I will look it up.
Yeah, please do.
What would you do? What would you do if you become state senator?
So, and the Office of State Senate handles, bill writing, legislation, and passing legislation and budget allocation. There's a lot of play there. People are very concerned about affordability in the utility space. And that is something that everybody this year, with the extreme cold temperatures and the, bolstering of local industry, everyday people should not be, keeping the cost for these larger industries that are moving in when it comes to energy.
Yeah.
And those allocation of resources can, sometimes go by the wayside if they're not managed properly. And that can be very irresponsible, especially when everyday consumers have to carry the cost of that. In addition to that, workers' rights, very, very important, I feel, to expand the strength of unions, because collective bargaining makes things better for all workers. Rising tide lifts all boats and all that. And
what do you do today? Well, currently, I'm almost out of time. What do you do today?
No worries. Currently, I work as a fine artist, and that's basically been my profession my entire adult life. I took a step back from the professional space to focus on this race, so I'm really leaning into that. But I've actually used a lot of my own creative experience in developing some of the, graphics for our race as well. And I think we'll see more of that.
All right.
Any chance we can hold them over for a short segment?
Sure.
I just want to know more about the advocacy for cannabis and Bernie Sanders. Those really caught my attention. If we can get into that.
And Stan,
Mr. Brown as well.
Both able to stay? Mike, you can stay as well?
100%.
All right. We're going to take a break.
Thank you.
It all began in 1985 with a single goal, a commitment to brighten our community. And with your kindness, that light grew brighter. Because for 40 years, you've helped Food Bank of Central New York deliver healthy food and hope. But that need continues to grow. So this year, please consider giving a little extra and make sure the light we shine together never goes out.
At Wheelock Disposal Service, we're not just in the garbage business, we're in the people business.
Hi, I've been a Wheelock Disposal customer for over 10 years, and that says a lot. I wouldn't trust anyone else. They're always on time and polite when picking up my weekly trash and recycling. And whenever I need a dumpster or a special pickup, the office staff makes it quick and easy. I couldn't be happier with Wheelock Disposal.
As a family-owned company serving Herkimer and Oneida counties, we take pride in keeping our neighborhoods clean, safe, and welcoming. Whether you're cleaning out the garage, renovating your home, or tackling a big project, our team is ready with the right dumpster, a helping hand, and a smile. We even pick up the stray trash others leave behind. We wave to your kids. We honk the horn. Why? Because we're your neighbors. Call 315-822-3427 or visit wheelockdisposal.com to join the Wheelock family today. Wheelock Disposal Service. We love garbage, and we love our community even more.
80 years ago in Little Falls, a dream was built, one board at a time. Through hard work, honesty, and a commitment to doing things the right way, that dream became 3 generations strong. A lot has changed over the past 8 decades, but our promise remains the same. Quality materials and personal service you can count on. Thank you to our customers for 80 incredible years. Little Falls Lumber, built on trust since day one, and we look forward to serving you in the future.
Possibility starts with the right financial solutions from Americu Credit Union. Get started today at americu.org/possibility.
Areas of fog here this morning with patchy light rain and drizzle possible. Otherwise, mostly cloudy today. Temperatures approaching 40 this afternoon. 30 tonight. Rain mixing with snow at times on Wednesday. High temperatures tomorrow, mid-30s. Mix of clouds and sunshine Thursday, upper 30s. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone from the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
Nice and tight. Get right up there under the microphone, everybody. In studio right now, we have Michael Brown and Mandy Drake. Michael is running for Onieda County Clerk. Mandy is running for New York State Senate. Guys, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's start with you, Michael. Why are you running for county clerk?
Why am I running? Well, you know, the busiest people are the ones that do these things. I don't just blithely walk into a race like this because it's a lot of work.
And both of you, by the way, are running as Democrats, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And I really did my homework before I jumped into this one because it's I don't want to just run to run.
He's in studio right now is Mike Brown. He's a former Onieda County legislator in the 12th District, including parts of Rome. He has served as the Main Street Director for City of Rome from 2004 until 2006. Most recently ran unsuccessfully for Rome Common Council in the 5th Ward, which he lost to Republican John Riley. Also, Mandy Drake is a local artist, educator, and small business owner, lifelong resident of the Mohawk Valley. She's running for the 53rd Senate District seat, currently held by Senator Joe Griffo Monaski.
Yeah, I wanted to dig in on a couple of things. One of them, the I'll just say cannabis advocacy, but it's more than that. I'll let you explain it. But essentially the issue is there were people who really sent to jail for a long time for crimes involving marijuana, selling marijuana. Well, now marijuana is legal in New York State, so should these people be let free? You talked about being an advocate on behalf of those who are serving prison time for marijuana-related offenses. You specified nonviolent. Talk about how that went and where we are currently in New York State.
Okay, so one of the nice things about New York State is New York State has been one of the earlier states to not only approve a medical program, but also approve an adult use program. When I worked in cannabis, I was working in medical cannabis because the recreational program didn't exist yet. In doing so, I was more of a patient educator than a salesperson, since you had to have a prescription to go there. And a lot of it was honestly little old ladies who had chronic pain that ibuprofen and Tylenol wasn't hitting anymore, and they wanted something a little extra. Now, I learned a lot about patient advocacy. I learned a lot about the products themselves. Now, I started thinking about how the state is now profiting off of like the Oneida or the Office of Cannabis Management, and how it profits off of these centers for cannabis, distribution in regards to the medical aspect of things. And then I got to thinking, okay, well, great. I think it's awesome for the state economy, builds awesome tax revenue for the economy. It's something that people have been pushing for on the legislative side of things. And people are still behind bars for distributing cannabis. And I'm speaking to nonviolent offenders. I don't think that people that have actually caused physical harm in the community have any business being let go. But there are a lot of people still jailed for, nonviolent related cannabis offenses. And while the state is profiting off that, I don't think that's a reasonable ask. I know it might have been illegal at the time, but times are changing. The laws are changing. There's, we need to really evaluate what the priorities are, because are we packing jails with people that don't need to be there for an offense that, isn't relevant anymore?
Can I get you to move to see that arrow right there? You need to be way down, and pull your mic right with you, and that would help me a little bit more. Just a little bit more. You guys both go that way, just a little bit. I'm so sorry.
Let's get nice and close.
You guys get nice and close. Okay. We really haven't been putting people in jail for minor marijuana offenses for a couple of decades. This would really go back to probably the 1970s. Who's in jail right now? And obviously, if you're bringing in huge amounts of marijuana and you were arrested, that's a different story than someone who's smoking marijuana and gets a ticket. They really just used to get appearance tickets.
For the most part, that is true, but there is a discrepancy when it comes to...
So you're saying there still are people in jail who had minor offenses for marijuana?
Typically, they're related to distribution, but there are still people in jail for cannabis-related offenses. And
because there are people in jail who maybe brought in illegal, non-taxed cigarettes.
Correct.
Who had large amounts brought in. They were nailed in a sting, and those people have gone to jail. So it really has nothing to do with the legalization of marijuana, I don't think.
Well, a lot of the war on drugs has to do with race. So when it comes to cannabis offenses, we see a very disproportionate amount of people of color, even in the late 90s to early 2000s, that were jailed for relatively small, nonviolent cannabis-related offenses.
And
that's
you're saying
really
they're still in jail?
There are, I'm saying that there are plenty of people that are still serving for nonviolent-related cannabis offenses. And I genuinely think that that's a problem. And I think we also have an overcrowding in the prisons anyway. So finding ways to,
I would like to parlay into bail reform.
Of course,
raise
absolutely.
the age, those things that you hear a lot about right now. Where do you stand on that? Do you think the state went too far? The legislature went too far in bail reform? Because if you hear from the sheriff or you hear from the district attorney's office and others in police, that they went too far. It's made their job almost impossible to accomplish. What are your thoughts?
I want to be very clear on this. I do not agree with nonviolent offenders being released on bail, regardless of the amount that it might cost, because violent offenders should not be amongst the populace until they go to trial.
So you're saying violent offenders?
Yeah.
I'm
sorry, I misspoke.
Yeah.
Violent offenders should not be amongst the populace regardless. I don't think bail reform should be, taken into consideration when it comes to perpetrators of that nature. However, it comes back to the pipeline to poverty thing, right? A lot of what has to do with bail is, if the punishment for a crime is a fine, then it's only really a crime if you're poor. Because if people can, pay their way out and pay for a really great lawyer and not have to deal with the financial repercussions of committing that crime, and it's not a violent offense, that really sets people back and makes it more difficult for them to, do their regular, go about their lives. And
it does seem to be much bigger than that. For instance, the one problem that we've had, and police departments will tell you, agencies here locally will tell you, is that you arrest someone for whatever.
Right.
They have an appearance, they're let go. The same crime happens the next day. The same crime happens on the third day after they were released again. It's that we've kind of tied the hands of authorities in the courts with this bail reform. Do you think there should be reform of the reform? Should we bring it back somewhat to the center? Did we go too far, or are you good with the bail reform that was made law by the current legislature?
To be honest with you, if it's causing more work for our law enforcement, and if it's causing more work for the courts, it's something that's worth looking into and reforming the reform, simply because I think time is money, and if it's a bunch of bureaucratic logistic nightmare, in addition to the potential of violent offenders being released, bail has a lot to do with money, and I don't necessarily think that people that are financially challenged should suffer as a result if they're not committing a violent offense.
Okay.
And then you mentioned Bernie Sanders advocacy. I saw on your website you talked about fighting against GOP extremism. I think some people think Bernie's on the left extremism. Do you think that? What did you like about Bernie? And do you see yourself as like a Bernie Sanders legislator if you're elected?
Well, honestly, yes. Bernie Sanders was kind of my, I want to say, since we were talking about cannabis, gateway drug into politics. I campaigned for Bernie Sanders in 2016 by, door knocking, phone banking, assisting with rallies, attending rallies, etc. Basically, I've always thought that healthcare access was something that, we're failing our people by not allowing healthcare access. I learned a lot about that when I traveled to Europe and needed to see a doctor and was in and out of the emergency room for 12 euros at the time. It boggled my mind. And, once Sanders was campaigning on healthcare reform and the sense of, insurance companies is like their product is red tape. It's not working for people. I don't know a single person that hasn't had issues with some sort of healthcare debt or healthcare access. And Bernie Sanders, myself, I've personally dealt with that. And Bernie Sanders' messaging really resonated to me in the healthcare space. And then that's kind of what got me into it. And then I've, expanded my knowledge on that. I've read his books. I've followed his political journey from being the mayor of Vermont in the 80s or mayor of Burlington, in the 80s to, now being one of the most well-loved senators in the country. So a big fan of his work because I believe in workers' rights. I believe in access to basic benefits because people are struggling and it feels like it's needless. And that's something that's never sat well with me.
I know we got other stuff to get to.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll talk to you many times before the election. So I wish you luck and I hope you come back.
Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you. And I did want to bring Mike Brown just to give you an
Sorry,
opportunity.
Mike, I didn't mean to skip over you.
Well, she's running for Senate and you're running
Exactly.
for both are very important positions.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people don't get that county clerk is an important position.
It is extremely important. So obviously we'll have your opponent on who will answer to those charges, your charges. But I would ask you, what else is important to you as county clerk? What are the other things that you...
A biggie, a real biggie is customer service.
Okay.
Customer service is huge. We're losing a lot of not tax dollars, fee dollars to Madison County. It's interesting. Wampsville is this sort of touchstone for people. And I heard last night at dinner, one of my best friends was telling his kids to please go to Wampsville. It's so much faster. Well, I'm telling you, if you've got a car, it is. I've done it myself. It's really, really frustrating to go to the DMVs.
I really feel like the DMV, and this is my personal experience, has improved in customer service a lot. What you're saying is true, and I've made the trek not to Wampsville. I'm a Valley guy, so Herkimer is where I feel like you're going to have less of a crowd in Herkimer than you're going to have in Utica.
You are.
It's just because of the population. But I'm not sure that's a customer service problem.
A lot of it, Bill.
Or you feel it is?
It is. It is. It's customer service. And again, it's management style. It's not cross-training your employees. It's if you cross-train your employees and it's lunchtime and employee A doesn't know how to do what employee C does or B does, okay? And employee A is the one covering lunch.
Yeah.
It's going to slow down the process.
Okay.
And it's my corporate experience there says you got to cross train. You've got to make it and you have to have a happy employee.
Yeah.
Because if I'm going to go and I'm going to get met with somebody with a sourpuss face and who's going to take, their frustrations out on me when I go to get my license renewed, and I can go to Wampsville because somebody told me, oh, it's such a great experience over here. And so I go there and it's like, oh, it was like Nirvana. So, but the problem, the big problem is I go to Wampsville and I pay my fees, okay? A certain percentage of those fees goes to Madison County. It doesn't go to Oneida County. And then my taxes go up. That's what's happening.
Okay. A suggestion, a little tip to tie this all together. When you go to Wampsville, or even if you go to Oneida County, bring them a little gift, a little care package of marijuana along. And
there you go.
Ties it all together.
Some of those employees could really use it to relax, honestly.
Might solve the whole problem.
There you go.
Who needs a donut when you can do a doobie?
Or, just a little gummy to take the edge
A
off.
little gummy. Maybe that's
you can tell Bill is a big pot smoker. Do a doobie. Tell me the last time you've ever heard a friend say that. Let's do a doobie.
Doobie Brothers, right?
Yeah. Real quick, since we mentioned DMV, I want to remind everybody, all DMVs in New York State will be closed Friday 2 o'clock through Wednesday morning. There's a technology system upgrade that all DMVs across the state are doing. So if you need to get something done, try to get there today or tomorrow. They will be closed Friday through Wednesday morning.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Good luck.
Appreciate
Take care,
it.
guys.
And we'll talk more as we get down the road. I'm sure it's a long campaign. A long year, which is going to go very quickly, I'm afraid.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babel. Babel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. Babbel.com.
Winter has officially taken over, and the cold isn't playing around. Though the weather is frigid, the deals at Steed Ponty Chevrolet in Herkimer are on fire. If your ride isn't ready for snow, ice, and everything Central New York throws at it, it's time to turn up the heat with a brand new Chevy from Steed Ponty. Right now, drive a 2026 Chevy Equinox LT all-wheel drive for just $319 a month. Need more muscle? Get into a 2026 Chevy Colorado Crew Cab 4-wheel drive with the towing package for only $299 a month. Or go big with a 2026 Chevy Silverado LT Crew Cab 4-wheel drive, just $399 a month. Warm up to a better ride today at Steed Ponty Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy dealer. Chevrolet, together let's drive. See why it's always easy to do business at Steed Ponty Chevrolet. Customer must qualify top tier credit with GM Financial and qualify for the GM card. Equinox and Silverado must have Chevy lease with GM Financial and household and $3,000 down. Colorado must have select vehicle and household and $1,000 down. All taxes, fees, and first payment due on delivery. Must take delivery by February 28, 2026. See dealer for details.
I was ordering food for the office from the same few places for too long.
For workplaces suffering with office food fatigue, every day's a struggle.
Before starting Easy Cater, I assumed having no good vegan options for Carl in finance was normal.
Easy Cater is designed to treat OFF with a huge variety of favorite restaurants, plus tools to help you meet dietary needs and stay on budget. Used daily, one platform lets you save time and shine. Ask your app store about Easy Cater or start an order at easycater.com.
First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
All right, Manaski, I'm going to let you do the intro on this because you were looking all the Napoli stuff up here this morning.
Yeah, so I just have the report here. Okay, where to begin? All right. It said that we acknowledge the findings and recommendations. This looks like a release from the county executive's office. Let me take a step back here. Okay, the audit summary. The clerk staff collected and deposited funds in a timely manner. The clerk did not always remit funds to the commissioner in a timely or accurate manner. We determined remittances to the commissioner for non-mortgage fees totaling approximately $2.7 million, averaged 69 days late from January 2024 through March of 25. The clerk's delays in remitting funds to the commissioner limited the county's ability to access and use funds in a timely manner. Obviously, I'm reading here. In addition, when funds are held by the clerk for longer than required, there is an increased risk that theft or loss, errors, and misappropriation could occur and go undetected.
He's going to hit you in the face with that, Mike. Thank you, Davey.
It says we also determined the clerk did not ensure monthly accountability analysis was prepared to reconcile liabilities against available cash through the audit period. Had the clerk done so, the clerk may have identified the following errors in recording or remitting funds. And it says basically 2,400 federal tax lien filings totaling over $95,000, which dates back to 2007, were not remitted to the commissioner.
And I think that's the point you want to make.
Sure.
Yeah.
We have a lot of points we want to make.
Okay, sir.
Approximately $94,000 in revenue generated from website subscriptions were overpaid to the commissioner. And as of March 31, 2025, cash exceeded known liabilities by $108,000. $108,038.
Your opponent, good morning, guys. In studio right now is Mary Finnegan, and your first deputy clerk is Lisa Weeks. And so you heard your opponent yesterday.
Yes, I
did.
did.
Immediately heard from you after your opponent basically threw it out there saying what's going on at the county clerk's office.
Okay, so I think we need to back up. When we took office, we walked into, Sandy DePerno's a lovely person, don't get me wrong, but we really walked into a mess. Sandy had left in November, so she left a staffing issue. There were 2 clerks, where now we have 6.
There was no true passing of the baton.
There was no true passing of the baton. There was no there was no training. There was no the files had been wiped. There was not even a piece of paper telling us what to do. There was 8 months of mail behind the clerk's counter piled up with, numerous extremely important documents that needed to be put on record. We had to turn to other clerks. So within 3 weeks, Lisa and I went to other county clerks, and we figured out and we got to work as to what needed to be done. So these problems were systemic. These were not something that Lisa and I created. We came in and we fixed the problems.
It was a period of discovery for us,
yes,
really.
Absolutely.
We took basically the first 6 months, and because I have a finance background, I was able to kind of pull things apart. And we, everything we found, we brought to the audit and finance department, which those were employees that were there when we started. So we came upon some things that didn't make sense to us, and we immediately brought it to their attention and said, where do we go with this? We need some answers. Once the new comptroller came on, we had another meeting, and she agreed. We agreed, welcomed. We said, let's do an audit.
Yes,
because there are some unanswered things here.
So you asked for the audit?
Yes, we asked for the audit, yes.
Okay.
In conjunction with the comptroller.
The thing about the audit reports, and only because I'm familiar with it, coming with a finance background, this is what audit reports do. They don't tell you the 8 great things you did. They list the 3 things that they found that need to be fixed. Mind you, the corrective action plan has already been filed with the Board of Legislators. Some of the things that they found I had already fixed prior to them coming in, but they needed to be noted. The federal tax liens going back to 2016 was something I found in the audit, everyday audit. The programming system that we used, they didn't route them correctly. The 65 days when we started, we met with Audit and Control.
They were happy. This was the statement.
We're not really concerned at how long it takes. We just want to make sure they're accurate. And the 65 days in some instances was better than what was preceded us.
Can I ask, and I know this is maybe
yes, please ask
this
all
is
questions.
putting the cart before the horse. At some point, I know you hope you will not be. Your goal is to not leave office this November or the end of the year.
Yes.
And to win re-election.
Right.
But at some point, you're going to walk away, and you're going to walk away.
This is a great point.
This can't continue.
No.
Are we in the process of updating things so it's turnkey? The next person who comes in,
and we can talk about those changes that we've made.
A great question.
I think that's really important.
It's very important because we would never want someone to walk into what we walked into.
Okay.
Right. And the corrective action plan, which we've completed, stipulated that. So we have handwritten procedures. I have remittance schedules that I wrote that I went and took from another county clerk. Addresses included. A lot of things we've updated to improve upon the timeliness. When we came in, and we can tell you the advances that we made, our employees didn't even have email when we started. So not only have we upgraded equipment and softwares, we actually brought our software, which is a standalone software, IQS, we brought it into the county network so that the departments weren't so siloed off. There are other county departments that really need to have access to that. So we've made some really good changes. And again, the audit report doesn't mention those things.
Yeah.
In the process of discovery of the first year, we found some things that were blatantly done wrong. We didn't announce those. We just quietly,
fix them.
We addressed with them.
Address them and fix them.
Excuse me, Davey, could you come in, please?
Oh, no.
I'm just going to fix your microphone. We've got to fix this problem because I think like 10 times a morning I say, let's fix the mics.
Well,
so turn it, angle it properly. Not
Lisa.
No, it's Lisa.
Okay.
It's me, Davey.
So
thank you.
She's a soft speaker, though. So you can,
thank you.
Yes. My children would say differently.
But I also think it's important to note that in the audit report, they did note there was no misappropriation of funds, and there certainly there were no checks sitting in drawers uncashed. That's blatantly untrue.
We found money.
Yes,
we actually.
So the reason we called the audit was we found $800,000 sitting in a fund. We went to Audit and Control and we said, hey, within a couple months, what is this about? And
I had that same problem at home.
So
I don't have that problem.
The problem dated back years and years and years, and Lisa can address the $800,000 a little bit in more detail.
What's the $800,000?
Well, that was a great question, and we went to the parties that were there at the county. No one seemed to know. Went back several years, maybe a decade. And so what we found out through the audit, and what was my intuition before the audit started, was the county clerk's office pushes on average $1.5 million through the accounts every month, and it's an escrow account, so the money comes in and it has to go out in a timely manner.
Yeah.
So I think what was happening with the previous people was they were just kind of building a savings account, not doing anything wrong, really. They were just putting it in an interest-bearing account and leaving it there to build some interest. That's really, truly not the role of the county clerk, is to build interest, because the money is not ours. It comes in and goes out.
Right.
So when we got there was, like we said, there was no handbook. No one seemed to know where this money came from, and I think it just compiled over several years, probably a decade.
And you guys reached you had to reach out to other county clerks?
Oh, we reached out.
I went to three.
Yeah.
On a daily basis. I had one on
a daily basis. We had them on speed dial.
Wow.
They got sick of me. They don't return my calls anymore.
Yes. Yeah. We really were left to figure it out on our own.
Yeah.
And again, these problems were systemic. We didn't create these problems in 2 years. We've been there for 3 hot minutes.
But we take the responsibility.
So
for
we
fixing
do.
them.
We do take the responsibility for fixing them. And again, you have to understand. I didn't just have the registrar's office. The DMV was in an upheaval as well. There were 15 open positions. Customer service was at an all-time low. I'd like to think that my staff and myself have brought that completely full circle, not only in my office, but in the DMVs. We've done an outstanding job, and it's not just me, it's me and my staff. I will say, and I've got about a minute and a half, and I've got to go to Rome PD. But I will say that you hear the criticism of President Biden and President Trump. No, the economy is good, and we're hearing that now. We heard it back during Biden, but the people don't feel it. Mm-hmm. I will tell you that I had a number of people reach out yesterday to say the experience at the DMV has absolutely improved. In fact, somebody said I didn't have time to sit down yesterday because I was in and out so quickly. Thank you for saying that.
But it does seem like... And it's not, of course, in Wampsville, you're going to have fewer people.
Mm-hmm. Well, they don't have the population we have.
Right. So you're going to have a more of a difficult crowd to deal with in Oneida County.
Right.
Yes.
But I'm hearing from people that are saying, because ultimately on election day, that's what it's going to be.
Yes.
If you say it's a better experience and you're working to make it even better, and the public agrees, then chances are you're going to get their vote.
I would like to think so. I think that we're working hard. We've fixed systemic problems. We've worked so incredibly hard to upgrade our customer service, and I think that that's what the voters deserve to know.
Yeah.
They deserve the truth. They deserve transparency from their elected officials, and that's what I'm here to do.
All right. Anything you want to add?
Well, the recommendations came down, and in all the cases, you were working to correct that. There was one thing here I wanted to ask you. The clerk should review procedures. I guess I've lost that. You want a comment from Lance? He's actually got a positive and a negative.
Okay, sure.
He says, just a quick take on Michael Brown. He must think running for office is a form of employment. Every year he's running for something because he always loses. As far as running the clerk's office more efficiently, I doubt that will happen. And then he says, I think the Rome DMV has improved. I usually use Wampsville. Again, this is Lance. He said, I know a couple of guys that work for large Utica car dealers. They still go through Wampsville because they're so efficient. Why?
This is a problem where the car dealerships went away from Oneida County.
So yes, can I address that?
And that happened before you
Oh yeah, so all the car dealers had left. They had every single one of them. So when I came on board, that was one of our main focuses was to get them back because they're a revenue stream. So I'd like to say that I've gotten back every one of Steep dealerships. I've gotten back Nimey's Next Generation. I've gotten back at least 12 dealerships, which has just been incredible. And how did I do that? We offer the service. We have runners. We go and get their registrations, and we have a 3-day turnaround. So, if you were to call Joe Steep right now, I think he would say, customer service has been incredible.
So, and when you came in, there was 15 open positions? That seems like a lot for the clerk's office.
At the DMV. The clerk's office, there were 6. Yeah. At the DMV, there were 13.
And what was the problem with the registration? Why did the dealerships walk away? I had forgotten.
Because there was no turnaround time. Nobody was servicing them.
Yeah.
No, there was no customer service.
And I heard complaints from people who worked in dealerships.
Yes, honestly, if you call the dealerships that we're dealing with now, I think that they would tell you the service is superb.
All right.
One last thing. Is it today's the last day you guys are open for several days?
Oh my gosh, yes. So we're having a giant state a reboot of the system. There's 30 million documents that we're going to need to be turning over. It's all done through the state. So we're closed tomorrow through next Thursday. Next Thursday will be the determination if the state says that we can open again. It's all depending on how the system goes. We're hoping it goes smoothly. We've been training. We've been really working towards it. But again, everyone needs to understand this is a state update. This has nothing to do with the county.
And I know you, along with Griffo, Brian Miller, and I've been working to retain more of the fees.
We're
currently,
really, yes,
90%. Is it 90% that goes to the state?
Yes. It's really a shame because we're the ones that are working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and that reopens Wednesday. So everything reopens Wednesday.
Yes.
But have you ever heard of anything like this? I don't ever remember state DMV closing for like a whole week.
Well, the system is decades old.
Yep, brand new software.
The brand new software.
Rolling out all
brand new
processes.
software.
Okay.
Great. Something we're going to have to learn now.
We're hoping, we're hoping in the long run this is going to be a wonderful thing. People need to really pack their patience.
Yeah.
Again, this is statewide. I don't even think you could do anything online with the state.
No. Everything's in person and online will be unavailable.
Okay. In person, online, you can do nothing.
Nothing.
Now, does that mean if my registration is due tomorrow, I'm in good shape? I've got a grace period all of a sudden.
Well, they usually do at the end of the month. Yeah. It's usually due by the end of a month.
I have no comment on that.
Okay.
I encourage you to use that excuse and report back.
I'll
let us know what they say.
I'll let you know. Okay, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Would you be open to a debate with Mr. Brown?
100%.
Okay. Sometimes I ask a question that I know the answer to, Lance. That was one of them. I know you. I figured
100%.
You would say yes. So, all right, we'll try to set that up.
All right, great.
Okay.
Hurt in a car? Call William Attar. 315-444-4444.
The President's Day sale is on at Mattress Express. Save up to $1,350 on New York State's largest selection from New York State's largest specialty bedding retailer. Go to mattressexpressny.com.
Progressive knows life takes you in many directions.
Bear right at exit 32, then begin to wonder why you never bought a fish tank. In 1.3 miles, you'll realize you've been mispronouncing epitome your whole life. At the roundabout, you will remember you said something at dinner you wish you hadn't and will think about it for decades. You have arrived at your destination, but it turns out there really is no destination and life just keeps going.
Wherever life takes you, protect your home and auto with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
We talked in Philly. Actually, had I been in yesterday, we would have spoken with Jim Jackson. And he said he was calling through, but Davey didn't answer the phone, and it ended. Otherwise, you'd have had him yesterday. But he's coming on next week. And Jim Jackson, of course, Emmy award-winning announcer for the Philadelphia Flyers, and of course, we all worked with Jim here in Philadelphia. Right now, there is a restaurant called Choreo. And there's a new hit, and they're writing about it in the newspapers and talking about it. And it's a dish called Chicken Riggies. And on the line right now is the chef of that restaurant and owner, David Fiola. David, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So we're hearing that the Chicken Riggies is quite the hit in Philadelphia.
Yeah, it's going over really well.
And the other part I'm hearing is that it's not some weird version of it. It's that you're making it authentically Utica style chicken riggies.
Yeah, that's right. I grew up in Rome, and it was a dish I had all my life. And once I started cooking, I started making it at every restaurant I had for like staff meal and for the kitchen and for the wait staff. And I was like, if I ever have a restaurant that it fits on the menu, I'm putting it on the menu. And it finally happened.
And it's finally happened. So tell me about Rome. Did you cook in Rome, or did you leave town and become a chef? How did all that happen?
My first cooking job was at the Valley View Country Club when I was a teenager.
Wow.
Yeah, and then that's kind of where I decided that's what I want to do for a living, and then I moved to New York City and started my career there.
That's really cool. And, Valley View is just completely you would not recognize it. When you come back home, you got to check it out. There's a couple of really nice restaurants in there now, and it's just completely redone. It is beautiful. Cool. So talk about your restaurant in case somebody's in Philly. Maybe want to visit your restaurant and check it out. Talk about the restaurant.
Yeah, sure. So we're an Italian focused restaurant. We do pizzas and pastas. Obviously, we have chiggies. Our pizzas range from just a not normal, but like a margarita. But then we also do like seasonal pizzas. I have a pear and blue cheese pizza on right now.
Oh.
So we kind of like run the gamut from recognizable to stuff you might not normally think of. And like some of our pastas, we have like chicken riggies. I have gemelli pasta that has black pepper and sesame that is also kind of like a hit there, but it's one that you wouldn't necessarily think of.
Yeah.
You know, we have a short rib ragu one. And then, I heard you talking about greens. When I first was on the line, I have a half chicken dish that I serve with the Utica greens as well.
Oh, you do? That's awesome. I mean, these are great dishes that are, for the most part, unique to our area. But, man, chicken riggies is starting to take off. It's everywhere now.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's still weird. It's still, I don't know. It's one of those dishes I grew up with, and I didn't even realize that it was so regional until I left. I just thought it was a pasta dish.
Yeah. That's so funny. And I've always said, too, that when it comes to greens, because, the same thing up here, like tomato pie, every place has their own version of greens. Some people put potatoes in them. Some do it the traditional Joe Morelli way, and so many different versions. But I got to think that for little Utica, Rome, we got to be at the top of the list for escarole sales in the United States. Like, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, a lot of escarole is sold here.
Oh, at Valley View, we would go through cases of it a week.
Yeah. So, and then before we let you go, so the restaurant is Corio, Corio. I always wanted to do a show where we're like, we are going to a certain city to try their famous food. So we'd like travel to Philadelphia for a Philly cheesesteak. Because if you're gonna have one, why not have one in Philadelphia? But if we ever do that, we'll make sure dinner is at your place.
Please, love to have you.
Corio in Philadelphia, and then you still have family here. Talk about that.
Yeah, my parents, my siblings, we've all moved away, but my parents still live in Rome.
Okay. Well, hopefully they're hearing you this morning. If not, we'll post it later, and they'll be able to check it out.
That's great.
All right, David, I appreciate it. I know that for a chef's life, getting up at 7:30 in the morning ain't easy, but we do appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Again, that's Corio, the restaurant in Philadelphia. David Fiola, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great day. Pretty wild, right?
Yeah, that's cool. I hope he does great out there.
And that dish is, and no surprise, right? Because it's such a good dish. And to think, though, that it is so unique to this area.
And listen, greens as well. You know, greens are known to have that little bit of that bitter taste. Mm-hmm. And that would be a hit in Philadelphia with all those bitter Eagle fans and bitter Philly fans.
You're right. The bitterness. Nagel, bitter. Nagel, bitter. I do have, like when I was in Providence, they had a greens dish made with escarole. But all that was escarole, oil, olive oil, and garlic. Maybe they put some onions in there.
WIBX Utica Rome, W295 Utica. From the WB Payne Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
This is a Fox News alert. A leader in the civil rights movement has died. I'm Dave Anthony. The Reverend Jesse Jackson.
That is the unfinished business that I'm about, fighting for equal opportunity for all Americans and peace in the world.
His family put out a statement that Jackson died peacefully this morning, surrounded by family, calling him a tireless change agent who elevated the voices of the voiceless.
Once a protege of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the Reverend Jesse Jackson became one of the country's leading civil rights leaders in his own right, establishing the Rainbow Push Coalition based in Chicago. He ran for the Democratic presidential nomination in both 1984 and 1988. In 88, he finished second to nominee Michael Dukakis. The Reverend Jesse Jackson was 84.
That's Fox's Kevin Uretsky. Iran State TV is now reporting another round of talks with the U.S. through a mediator in Geneva have just finished.
I would say they're bad negotiators because we could have had a deal instead of sending the B-2s in to knock out their nuclear potential.
And President Trump's threatened the U.S. could attack again like last year if Iran doesn't make a nuclear deal. Iran's supreme leader warns today they could slap the U.S. down, adding the president cannot depose the Islamic Republic. 3 people are in critical condition in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, after a shooting at a high school hockey game. 2 others were killed. Fox's Todd Pyra reports an ATF source says it was a man who targeted his wife and kids and then killed himself.
Police have identified the shooter as 56-year-old Robert Borgen, but say he may have identified as transgender, going by the name Roberta Esposito, an unnamed woman who claims to be the shooter's daughter, telling reporters that he had mental health issues.
A police officer shot dead in the Indianapolis area. Another was wounded. The suspected gunman found hours later late last night when Indiana State Police Sergeant John Perrine says a Good Samaritan helped.
They pointed us in the direction of where they believed the suspect was hiding, and IMPD SWAT was able to move in within minutes of that tip.
America's listening to Fox News.
Living with everyday pain is like having a voice that always says, no, you can't do that. No, you better sit this one out. It's no way to live. So if pain is affecting you, see how Relief Factor can help get you back to life on your terms. One where you say yes a lot more. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor's unique formula of natural ingredients does not just mask pain, it helps reduce or eliminate it for good. Whether it's your back, neck, joints, or muscles, Relief Factor can help you, as it has for so many others. So call 1-800-4RELIEF and give Relief Factor's 3-week quick start a try. It's only $19.95, less than $1 a day to get your life back. Just go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. And see how you can say yes to more of everything you want.
In addition to the U.S.-Iran talks in Geneva, Switzerland, there also are peace negotiations today brokered by the U.S. trying to get Russia and Ukraine to stop their war, which keeps raging. Russia fired another barrage of drones and missiles into Ukraine overnight. Ukraine hit a Russian oil refinery. And there's another American now jailed in Russia after those high-profile prisoner swaps in recent years.
The American citizen was arrested at Moscow's Vnukovo airport. He had checked in a suitcase containing the stocks of 2 Kalashnikov assault rifles, doing so without making a customs declaration. The man, who's not been named, was found guilty of smuggling weapons. The court sentenced him to 4 years in prison. A state news agency says he was a gun collector who partially admitted his guilt. The State Department advises against all travel to Russia and tells Americans to leave immediately due to risks, including wrongful detention. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
In the search for Nancy Guthrie, the FBI is still working to see if they can identify DNA found on a glove.
It's been 17 days since 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie was last seen at her home in Tucson. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos stressing members of her family, including her 3 children, have been cleared of suspicion, explaining in a statement, the family has been nothing but cooperative and gracious and are victims in this case. The FBI revealing a glove found about 2 miles away from the home is being analyzed for DNA and appears to match the gloves worn by a masked man caught on doorbell camera footage the morning of her disappearance. The FBI says the man appears to be 5'9" to 5'10" tall with an average build, recently doubling a reward it's offering in the case from $50,000 to $100,000. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
On Wall Street, after a long holiday weekend, stocks may fall. Dow futures down more than 100 points. NASDAQ futures off more than 200. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Areas of fog here this morning with patchy light rain and drizzle possible. Otherwise, mostly cloudy today. Temperatures approaching 40 this afternoon. 30 tonight. Rain mixing with snow at times on Wednesday. High temperatures tomorrow, mid-30s. Mix of clouds and sunshine Thursday, upper 30s. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone from the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Possibility starts with the right financial solutions from Amerique Credit Union. Get started today at amerique.org/possibility.
Cartoon Madness is coming to the Rome Capitol Theater February 16th through the 21st at 3 p.m. daily, 3 and 7 p.m. on Saturday, February 21st. This year's theme, Looney Tunes Goes to War. 8 dozen cartoons in the Looney Tunes Merry Melody series with Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig, and more, all made during the World War II period. Tickets are $5 for adults and $3 for children 12 and under. More info at RomeCapital.com. Cartoon Madness, Looney Tunes Goes to War, February 16th through the 21st at the Rome Capitol Theater.
Are you having a hard time making it through a day of work without foot pain or discomfort with things that used to be simple like walking the dog? You may be thinking there's no way that something as simple as the Good Feet store can help you, like Bill.
My feet would just ache, my back would hurt, my ankles, everything just hurt. And I'd seen the commercial several times before I finally said, I'm going to do this. And I'll be darned if it didn't work. I feel a million times better than I ever did.
Another satisfied customer of the Good Feet store is Wendy.
Since wearing my arch supports from the Good Feet store, my back pain is gone and my feet don't hurt as much. And as I look into the future without pain, I see myself being even more adventurous, joyful, and full of possibility.
Come to the Good Feet store today for your free fitting and test walk. We're in your neighborhood. Find the location nearest you and book your appointment at goodfeet.com. Good Feet arch supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Discover your options at the Good Feet store.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
I was ordering food for the office from the same few places for too long.
For workplaces suffering with office food fatigue, every day's a struggle.
Before starting Easy Cater, I assumed having no good vegan options for Carl in finance was normal.
Easy Cater is designed to treat OFF with a huge variety of favorite restaurants, plus tools to help you meet dietary needs and stay on budget. Used daily, one platform lets you save time and shine. Ask your app store about Easy Cater or start an order at easycater.com.
Is your business the best at what you do? Then you should be a Central New York's Industry Ace. Our Industry Aces are made up of the best businesses in the region, and we'll help you tell your story to thousands of consumers in the Mohawk Valley. With a combination of on-air and online testimonial commercials, along with targeted social media ads that are guaranteed to reach the consumers you want to be talking to. And best of all, these messages are coming directly from you. Interested in learning more? Contact Megan Powers at 315-768-9500.
It's time for a Utica tradition, America's greatest heart run and walk on March 7th. And on March 6th, it's the 55th anniversary of the WIBX Heart Radiothon. Sponsored by the Slocum-Dixon Medical Group this year, the Radiothon started when local runners honored the passing of WIBX personality Ralph Ellinger. They ran for 18 miles and raised money for the American Heart Association. Celebrate with us on March 6th. Hear from Slocum-Dixon doctors about ways to be healthy. Cheer on participants in the Treadmill Challenge and help fight heart disease.
First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
In studio right now is Joe Rakowski. You knew all of those.
No.
Okay. All right. Okay, Joe, I wanted to... Who do you think is the leading candidate right now in the 21st congressional race? What do you think?
On the Republican ticket?
Well, it could be, yeah, I guess, because I have no idea where they're going with the Democrats. That's such a Republican district. It's going to be very difficult.
We got two candidates. There's Rob Smolin and Sticker Mule.
Yeah.
Sticker Mule's doing what he's always done, and he says he's self-funding his campaign. I don't know if he's gotten any contributions, but Smolin's out there kicking. I think
he's doing a good job.
Yeah, I think he's doing a good job.
Meanwhile, you've got Sticker Mule calling him an effing coward.
It's terrible.
Terrible. We did have...
Isn't another name for mule jackass, though?
Yes.
Maybe. Yeah.
Should we refer to him as Sticker Jackass from here on out?
What a dirtbag is what I wanted to do.
Have you heard his recent interview? He's had...
Yes, I've heard that.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, listen, he did the same thing to us twice. But he says I'm obsessed with him in the bathroom. Okay. No. He was like, I just asked you to come in.
Yeah.
If we'd have said, now here's Joe Rakowski, and you said, wait a minute, I got to run to the bathroom. And then he runs to the bathroom, and he's gone for like 5 minutes. And then come back, he's all jacked and ready to go.
Oh,
you come up with your own conclusion. I have no idea.
I didn't see that one coming. I don't. It's crazy. I hope some other folks jump in the race. To have more candidates, in my opinion, would be better. Right now, we got 2 guys, and there's time left. I would like to see more candidates personally.
I would too, and I keep hearing there may be another one. Davey's telling me he was in the hallway slapping him in the face, like before you box. Like
really?
Like slapping him up. Then he came right in here. He was all riled up, ready to go.
Interesting. Any interest you jumping in? I mean, you had considered it before.
That's why you're here, Joe.
You said more guys want to get in.
Is this a ploy here? Okay, so this race, no, I will not be running, and I'm very interested only because I want a good outcome for this. And since I've said I'm not interested, I've had a handful of people approach me and say, you got to run. You just can't do it right now. We've got my business and the work that's coming in the local area from Micron to Chobani has us just doing double time. There's a lot coming at this region for heavy civil construction, and that's what I need to be on top of.
Well, there's, between Micron and Chobani, as you've said, enormous opportunity.
I don't think everybody realizes the impact. I was at the celebration in Syracuse on campus there. They're talking 50,000 jobs, and that's the beginning. When you put a couple years after the project breaks ground and the buildings are built, then it turns into schools, restaurants. There's not enough infrastructure. Nobody gets it.
The statistics people come up with that stuff. So what kind of economic impact will Micron, will Chobani have on the region? And in fact, I think you are on a board that actually digs into that sort of thing. Right. It's incredible, all the stuff that feeds around a big manufacturing plant.
Yeah, so I'm on the Onieda County Industrial Development Board, and a number that I've heard from back when I was in manufacturing is 100 manufacturing jobs create 64 to 66 other jobs behind it. So if you think about 50,000 jobs, what that potentially could create.
Yeah, so you're talking the city of Syracuse, is going to grow significantly, and with Chobani coming, and there's also some talk of another maybe data center coming to this park here in Marcy, and these data centers are popping up everywhere. It turns into infrastructure upgrades across the board: sewer, water, fire, police, et cetera. Yeah. So you're right. I would say that's probably an accurate number. You're talking hundreds of thousands of jobs coming to this region. And
how do we handle the housing and everything else that is going to?
We need good leadership, I'll tell you, because it really comes down to our elected officials having, they have to plan these things out and budget for.
So are you saying like maybe Chairman Rozier should take the lead?
No.
Oh, you're not saying that?
I hope that story ends soon.
Yeah.
We need better leadership in that position.
And that's what you're talking about, because I do think we're in the best position right now to succeed than we have been, which is why would we want to rock the boat right now? It doesn't make any sense to me.
But, to Joe's point in regards to talking about housing and things like that, it's very similar to what the state's take is in regards, we were talking about the electric school buses. You've got to have all this other stuff in place prior to these jobs coming. You can't say, we're going to have 50,000 jobs. We just don't know where they're going to live. I mean, it's insane.
And the highways, this is where 49 gets another ramp and 81 gets an upgrade. It's all happening at once. Let's not forget, they're spending over $1 billion on the interstate out there. So it's across the board.
An example that we were talking about earlier is the state just mandated pre-K. Now, on the surface, that sounds really good. And I'll have my father-in-law on to talk about that in the coming next couple of weeks. But think about what that means. So the mandate is that if any 4-year-old, the school has to provide pre-K for any 4-year-old in New York State. So some parents will opt in.
Free of charge. I guess that's the part that's the key. It's free.
Some parents will opt in, some won't. But what it's going to, so you're like, on the surface, that's great. But have you thought about what goes into that? Mm-hmm. Does the school have the classroom space?
The teachers.
Does the school have the teachers? You now have to buy the little kiddie books you got to buy
More
into
crayons.
a curriculum.
Yeah.
All of this stuff.
Probably free breakfast, free lunch.
And then, by the way,
School bus drivers.
right, you're going to add to the school bus route. And then, by the way, on top of all of this, what happens if one year you have a lot of parents opting in, and the next year only half of them opt in? Now you have all of this created, and so it is.
It's not planned well.
It's not planned well. And did you know that in New York State, we have now mandated pre-K, but kindergarten is not mandated in New York State. Now, almost everybody has a kindergarten, but it is not mandated in New York State. I believe a parent could hold their kid back and not go to kindergarten. I don't know the answer to that.
And same thing with pre-K. But
pre-K has just been mandated.
Well, it's not mandated the kid goes. It's mandated,
but it's mandated for the schools.
Offers it.
Kindergarten is not mandated for the schools.
Which I think is insane. So you would essentially have a situation where you're sending a 4-year-old to pre-K. And the district must provide it. And then the following year, the kid stays home for a year.
Because the district says we can't handle both pre-K and kindergarten. So we're going to provide pre-K, and we can't afford kindergarten. I mean, that could happen. So
that'll
here.
ultimately affect school taxes then.
This is where the ripple effects. And now, this is a potential negative ripple effect, and so could the adding of Micron, the adding of Chobani, and all of those things, because you've got to have the housing. You have to have schools. Will see an increase.
So this is coming out of the governor's office, right? So if the Republicans win the governorship and they reverse it after we build this infrastructure, right?
That could change everything.
This is like the electric cars. I mean, we spend billions on making stations for electric cars, and then they're kaput.
Well, and the grid saying we can't handle it. So this just shows you things aren't always thought out. Now, Micron, they're thinking it out because what a great opportunity. Chobani, what an incredible opportunity for the region. But we got to move on this stuff fast. And I do believe it takes entrepreneurs like you and your wife who can help play a role in all of that stuff.
Yeah, so we actually have we've been hired by the county to install sewer, water, and storm from the city infrastructure to the site, and potentially another 2 miles of force main coming down through the city just to handle their wastewater, which is actually going to be pre-treated by them with their own facility on site. And they're talking, I think, 500 tractor-trailer loads a day of raw milk coming in.
Wow. Boy, that's unbelievable.
500 tractor-trailers.
And remember, the announcement, the recent announcement has just been, the project has been, now when you hear this story, they've changed the project. So we're so used to, it's going to be smaller. No, it's going to be bigger.
It's going to be bigger.
2 billion square feet to build a campus. I mean, think about what Joe's talking about in regards to tractor trailers. Between Chobani and Faye, that's 1/3 of all the milk produced in New York State. So the big thing for them now is to try to get the dairy farmers to start increasing their herds, which, I mean, that doesn't just happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes years.
And I want to make a point. We're all talking about immigration. The current policy right now is who's going to milk the cows and pick the vegetables if they're
it's a real issue.
It is a huge issue.
And for the agriculture world, all they're saying, this is not a Democrat or Republican thing. They're saying, damn it, do your job and fix this thing because we need these people.
I think they got the policy wrong, to be honest with you, in Washington. I mean, there's so many. If you remove those workers from the workforce, coast to coast, you're not going to have vegetables or milk on the shelf.
You agree, though, that we should be removing the rapists and the murderers and the killers?
I mean, I'm ex-law enforcement.
Yeah.
I don't see. I mean, I've done warrant service and I've worked with the DEA and all the different agencies over the years. I mean, you go get the bad guys. Why do the bad guys that are here illegally have any more rights than the domestic bad guys that we have warrants for? So I think all those folks need to be collected and
why should in my belief, why should we pay for them to be in our prisons if they're not even citizens? Ship them out. Right. But the other people that are ingrained in communities, and this is the stuff that we argue about that we shouldn't. We should all see this. When was the last time you were at a hotel Just look at the people that are making sure your sheets are clean.
I had two agendas if I was successful in running for Congress, and one was to get with DOJ. I know more about the federal government than most with my contracting business, and I know a lot about what is wrong with that. So being part of a solution, with government, particularly highway infrastructure, et cetera, would be my expertise. But the immigration policy, I think it's such an easy fix. If you've been here and you're here working and you're productive, get them on the tax rolls. They should be paying taxes, and then give them a program to become a citizen over time.
We just talked about this yesterday. I completely agree.
And the other thing to think about is, we kind of touched on it yesterday also, is if you have some brilliant rocket scientist out there who just so happens to be from a foreign country, should we get them or let China have them? Right. Come on. This is
well, they're already here. I mean, they're working.
Right. But we don't want to get rid of them.
Again, though, legal versus illegal. If you have papers to come work here, I consider that documented.
Quick break. We'll get into this more coming up.
Need a part for your mobile home? John's Mobile Home Parts in Oriskany Falls has everything. Furnaces, skirting, combo doors, anything, everything. John's Mobile Home Parts and Accessories, Skyline Drive, Oriskany Falls. On Facebook or johnsmobilehomeparts.com.
If your loved one is battling addiction, you should know there is hope. Through the Good News Foundation's PAL group, you will find confidentiality, respect, acceptance, and support. Learn about healthy relationships, enabling, and other important concepts to work toward healing. Go to the Good News Foundation's website and join the PAL group. When someone you love has an addiction, there is hope. Good News Foundation, sharing faith, offering hope, and serving others.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Sherry, what have you done to your hair? What do you mean? Does it not look good? It doesn't look good. It looks freaking amazing. I can't believe how thick and healthy it looks. Oh, I must know your secret. No secret. It's hair volume from New Nordic. Hair volume, huh? Well, it certainly lives up to its name. Your hair has never looked so thick. It is gorgeous.
Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com, or find Hair Volume in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Possibility starts with the right financial solutions. From AmeriQ Credit Union. Get started today at ameriq.org/possibility.
Areas of fog here this morning with patchy light rain and drizzle possible. Otherwise, mostly cloudy today. Temperatures approaching 40 this afternoon. 30 tonight. Rain mixing with snow at times on Wednesday. High temperatures tomorrow, mid-30s. Mix of clouds and sunshine Thursday, upper 30s. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone from the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
Hello, everyone in Central New York. This is Dave Letterman, your old TV pal. Remember me? I'm supposed to say something witty and funny here about Bill Keeler, but I've got nothing. Ever see a picture of this guy? That's a joke in itself. Anyhow, here's Keeler on WIBX.
Listen, Joe, in my family, I'm tall. All right, just...
I'm 5'9", so I'm right behind you.
Yeah. We're not big basketball players, that's for sure. In studio right now is Joe Rakowski. Joe is a local businessman. He and his wife own a very successful business in the area. You might see the signs over at the auditorium. Comets games, Pioneers games. Mohawk Valley Materials. Started out as a police officer. You've done a lot of different things, and you've worked your
military,
way up
actually,
to,
Air Force here at Griffiths.
Okay, and that's what brought you here.
Yeah, that's where I met my wife, and then I got out and was in law enforcement in Pennsylvania, almost 10 years.
Yeah. And we met a long time ago when there was a couple of very unique stories that... One of them where somebody was stealing your... You used to do mulch.
Well, we started selling landscape materials here in Rome and Marcy. And, we had an incident with the the young man who was a state trooper stealing mulch in the middle of the night. That we caught him in the.
Well, let's go over this story. I'm not familiar with this one. No.
Oh my God.
Well, he wasn't just any old young man.
No, he was off-duty state trooper. I pulled into my facility late at night, worked all day, worked like 100 hours that week, and caught him on, I think, a Saturday night, loading his truck with red mulch. Truck was unregistered, no inspection, and confrontation. The police were called. Everybody showed up, and it's a whole long story but
goes back a long time.
Goes back a long time, and it actually helped us because we were on the news. It almost made national news.
Mm-hmm.
And if you Google it, it comes right up. So anyway, he was he pled guilty and lost his job, and was handled well by the
Meanwhile,
authorities.
you were former police yourself at that point.
He didn't know it at the time, it was.
Joe came out and told the story, and it was quite interesting, as you can imagine, on the radio. And then I'm like, well, listen, I got to do some mulch work at my house. And he said, all right, well, order some mulch and I'll deliver. And what did I order?
So he orders 10 yards of
10 yards.
premium
Yeah,
bark mulch.
give me 10 yards.
And I do this every day. And I'm like, everybody buys
you needed
one or
2,
two.
right?
Now it was a large
and he was so happy that we bought this big load of mulch, and I'm sitting in his backyard, which turned into, I think, cocktail hour, right?
It did, yes.
So we
that's what happens every day.
2 months to spread this.
Yeah. So. It did take me about 2 months. But man, I mean,
because you ordered too much or not enough, or what?
It covered. Literally, I ran out at the end. I did run out, but it took me 2 months to do it. That's the problem. It was a large piece of property.
And that's how I met Bill Keeler.
Yeah. All right. What were we going to? I'm sidetracked now.
We were talking about the trades, I think.
Yeah, this is interesting. So. You you go to college. It's what kids are trained to do. You go to college, and you spend a lot of money. You have a lot of college loans, and today you can do other things.
So we were talking about when we were off air, the opportunities for young people, anybody really in the region. If I wasn't college bound and I went into the trades early, and I can do everything from run a chainsaw to drive a bulldozer to drive tractor trailer. On my team, and we range between 50 and 150 employees, depending on how much work we're doing, but averaging, we're a $30 to $50 million a year company. I can't tell you how many people I've got on payroll that have either an ED or diploma, not non-college people that are making between $100,000 and $200,000 a year with full retirement benefits, and some of the folks. We got 1 or 2 individuals that have over $200,000 in their 401k in like a 24-month window.
Wow.
By the way they defer and how we pay on public rate jobs. And almost everything now is public rate, right?
Yeah. Well, the other thing, too, is my son actually told my wife, he goes, when he graduated from college, he says, Mom, I'm not $225,000 smarter.
Yeah,
and, I mean, the other thing is this whole thing with AI, let me tell you, the first jobs that are going to start getting whacked are going to be the white-collar people.
Yeah, right.
The people that can work with their hands and understand the trades. And it's not like the old trades with a guy driving around with a dark truck and a bucket of tools.
No.
These are people that are very technically astute. And, I mean, they're writing their own check.
Although I got to tell you, that guy driving around with a bucket of tools is very valuable when you need something
But the difference is now, when you go and buy a brand new dozer, bulldozer, or Mack truck, and we buy our trucks from Utica Mack, leather seats, Bluetooth stereos, heated seats, air ride seats, right?
Yeah.
Hand warmers on the controls. I mean, the guys in the machines, and actually some of the younger guys are a bit of a benefit because they're tech savvy. So a lot of them get it when you put them in the machine, because now the satellites control the bulldozer blade.
Yeah.
They just sit in it and drive it forward and backwards. So the industry's changing, and we need those folks.
You have some comments? Anything?
Let's see here.
Got a few.
Matt in Holland Patton says, tell Joe I have he said hello, and he's got a load of ash for you.
Oh, that's my firewood guy. Hey, Matt. Yeah.
And that's his brother-in-law, I believe. That's Smitty's brother-in-law, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Lance says...
Ash is a very hard
wood. You don't have to cure it.
Right?
You cut it down today, put it right in the fireplace.
Yeah.
Only tree that does it.
Lance says... Okay, so we talked about this, that your name came up. Lance had said your name came up in the assembly seat. And he said, here's my friend's theory on why Mr. Rakowski might have been interested in Marianne's seat. Are you?
It has come up, but no, I'm not.
I believe he threw a few fundraisers for Esposito last year. Also, he threw his hat in the ring for Stefanik's vacant seat. So why not run for assembly for yourself this time, get your political foot in the door, and then run for Congress into the future? That doesn't sound like too crazy of an idea to me. That's what Lance said. You want to respond?
It's a good idea. My ties are with Washington. I have a lot of, unique connections down in the Capitol. I want, bigger problems at the Capitol, like big things. We do big work. And there's nothing wrong with I just don't have the interest. It was a special election, too. Let's not forget. It was a unique opportunity for a guy like me to engage.
He also says he's certainly a better candidate than Dan Fusco and would have my vote. That's Lance, who leans, I think, left. But he's talking about voting for a Republican.
He actually said voting for Gendabine.
Yeah, he says, sorry, can't vote for Smullen. Too many skeletons. Gendabine, although he calls him Gabardine here, has my vote right now, but he obviously means Gendabine. And he also says, I don't know what this is in regard to. Listening today, Florida or Tennessee is sounding better and better.
When you hear the mandate on school buses, you hear the mandate on pre-K. Listen, pre-K is not a bad idea. No. It's just we haven't thought this out yet on how we're gonna handle it. That's part of the problem. I have somebody else asking, ask Joe if there's anyone better than Rozier on the committee right now that would do a better job.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
I don't have time to list them all, but he's made a mess of it. And it goes back to the last time I was on the show. I mean, this guy is at war with all the incumbents, and right now is not the time to do that. We don't need this rhetoric because we've got so much going on. We've got such great leadership, and they're all working together, and they're pretty bipartisan folks. I mean, I can't complain about
this is kind of like the Howard Potter thing, too, we were talking about a little bit earlier off the air. And he's going after the Utica School Board, and he's upset that they're getting calamari after they're sitting there for 5 hours on a school board. They order food, and this is a wasteful way of, you shouldn't be spending money on this, which I think is quite ridiculous, to be honest. This board is corrupt. Does he remember how bad things were on the Utica School Board back before Hobica did all of what come on.
Yeah, he was the guy. It's interesting because I don't think I agree with Howard right now either, but he's the guy who sounded the alarm on a lot and was not afraid to come forward on a lot of the Karam stuff. And was the one who, and Potter.
Howard, here's the thing. Howard's like, I got rid of, Howard didn't get rid of Hobica.
We talked to Howard 50 times.
Yes,
he was the only one willing to come forward and lay out some of the things.
Howard Potter was used to... People fed him stuff, so he would go on the record, and then all the work, but he didn't. The public pressure didn't get rid of that problem. It was all the stuff that was done on the school board, and the reporting that went to the state and the investigations that was not. I'm telling you, not Howard Potter.
Well, I certainly appreciate Howard bringing those things forward. I don't have the insight
he was left
into
out
that,
to be the punching bag.
Correct. He was being used. He was being used. A lot of teachers and people were feeding him stuff. But at the end of the day, he's making a fool of himself, going after all of this other ridiculous stuff. I'm sorry, it's just my opinion.
Well, I think I agree that,
wake up and stop arguing about everything.
Compared to the misappropriation of funds and the corruption that he was highlighting previously,
right?
To be talking about an order of Kalamad, I mean, give me a break.
Yeah. There's a Polish guy pronouncing it properly according to the Italians. I love it.
I was raised in East Utica. That's what they told me to say.
Right.
The Rutger.
Yes.
It was great.
Where were we?
Ken, we were talking about Ken.
So...
Just a mess.
Well, and this hatred of all of the people that are basically established, it's almost like it's almost like, how come I'm not a part of your thing, so now I'm going to hate you because I'm not a part of it.
The bigger crime is his position is to bring the party together and support the incumbents. And I've had conversations with all the leadership, and he's doing none of it.
Yeah.
And that's
in
his
fact,
job.
he's doing the opposite.
He's doing the opposite. Yeah.
So not to mention the somewhat unethical. We're going to hold events here.
You're being kind.
I mean, you gave money, right?
Well, we don't know where it went. We didn't get the advertising we paid for. And we know where some of it went. It was frivolous lawsuits. He's trying to get rid of Kim Rogers. There's another person in the political arena that's astute. why. There's no good. But he spent, what, $12,000 on the lawsuit?
Yeah.
And it was
And
10 or 12, and then it was either 10 or 12 on the events that were held at one of his properties.
Yeah.
Right, so
Or was it 8 or 10?
And I was around to all these counties. Some of these counties would love to have $30,000 in their coffers. And Oneida County is spending $10,000 or $20,000 at a shot to
get rid of their own established Republican leadership.
Right.
Doesn't make any sense. At a time when, let me tell you something,
Could be
Fulton,
easier
Montgomery,
right
Johnstown, Amsterdam, they would love to have the money that we've been working with that has come from the state and, New Hospital, Marcy, what's going on at Griffiths, the Turning Stone, all of these huge nexus, the improvements to the Odd. I mean, talk to the people in Amsterdam. They're like, how about sharing a little with us?
Yeah.
And yet here we are going after leadership.
Well, I said on the last interview, I don't give a nickel to Ken Rogers.
You do not?
No,
Not anymore.
We'll support candidates, my wife and I.
Because you know where that money is going.
Well, I know where it's going, and it just doesn't flow down.
So let me ask you, as a donor, a past donor, you feel like that money was to go to buy essentially politicals, advertisements for candidates, right? To promote them and get their word out.
We have the documentation. We were told, if you donate, you'll get a table at this event. It was inaugural watch, et cetera. And then, we can't get the proof of
performance.
Proof of performance on where those dollars went. So we never got what we paid for as far as him turning those dollars into radio or television ads. Doesn't respond.
And can I ask you, I don't know if we've talked about this on the air, but the whole wanting to debate one of our elected officials, can we discuss that or no?
What was that?
Ken wanted to debate the county executive.
Right.
Senate, yeah.
For what?
Yeah, I don't understand. So let's just play this out and say
he has to understand that the role of chairman of the Republican Party is to support
the elected
officials
that the people voted for.
You are not Tony Pacini's boss. There's no. You have not even. You're not even with. There's no equivalence here. So why would he debate you over what? What are you going to debate about?
He couldn't carry the water for Tony.
No.
Well, that's Bill's job. Lance will be commenting that in a moment here.
And listen,
Sandler.
I don't look like a guy.
Those curls.
I don't look like I'm big enough to carry water, but let me tell you, you give me 2 5-gallon pails, I can carry water. Yeah. Any others that you?
No, I didn't understand. We've talked about this off the air. I just don't understand. Let's just play this out. Ken debates Tony Pacini, and then he wins and what? Gets to assume his seat? Is this like some WWE by rules?
No such thing.
You win the debate and you get to slide in and take the championship belt? I don't get it.
I want to make this point. When someone gets elected into a position, and you know this better than anybody, it's not like you got training for it, right? Like Lanigan became mayor and he knew police work, but immediately has to understand the water department, sewer department, public safety.
Tornadoes.
Tornadoes, all these things.
Snow.
So we have a team right now that's working very well with everything that's coming in to this region. Why do you want to tear it down?
It's like you're a cannibal. You're killing your own.
And what happens if you get a new candidate that runs against these folks? We get somebody new. They got it. They're at zero as far as understanding what has happened, what's in progress, what sewer. What these projects are tens of millions of dollars with taxpayer dollars. They can't be mishandled. You need the folks with the experience to run the county.
Just think about this Chobani deal alone. And I if I'm going to carry water, let me talk about the unpopular things that Pacini had to do in order to move some of these projects forward. And he did them knowing it was going to come back to haunt him, whatever it might be. But even the Oneida Nation deal, putting that thing together, changes our world.
Right? Why would
changes the world for taxpayers.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of money we were spending on lawsuits. It was a civil war, basically.
Forget the benefits, but the money we were spending on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, Chobani didn't have to choose this place. Actually, Michigan had a better deal than we did. But they made the commitment to our community because this community made him, and he said, I'm going to remember that.
And part of it was a handshake between him and Pacini, which they hit it off, and it worked. So.
Well, I think he saw the Vicente Obama handshake. He said, if I don't commit to this area, he won't let go of my hand. He's not going to let go of my hand.
So what you're referencing, people might not remember, but when Obama came to town, Vicente had a lot of things he wanted to talk about, and they began shaking Obama's hand, the president, and he wouldn't let go. The thing went on that he was holding his hand for he was going to get his 2 cents in. And that went on for...
I have to go find the original video of that. That should be a free money question. How many seconds was it?
That's a good one.
It seemed like 4 minutes, but it was probably like, what, 25, 30 seconds?
Whitesboro Central School District is looking for bus drivers to join their team. Whitesboro is a leading school system in Central New York. With 7 schools, 3,100 students, and holding a 92% graduation rate, you can help drive our students' success. When you drive for Whitesboro, you get great benefits, a flexible schedule, and summers off. Perfect for retirees with extra time. Help drive our future leaders with Whitesboro Central School Transportation. Call Andy at 315-768-9740 or stop by the garage, 20 Wood Road, Whitesboro.
Utica and the Mohawk Valley Mattress Express's President's Day sale is on from upstate New York's largest specialty bedding retailer. No one else in New York State has all the brands under one roof that we do. And right now, save up to $1,350 on names like Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, Sealy, Purple, Puffy, the Smart Bed by Instant Comfort, Posh & Lavish, Therapeutic, Simmons Beauty Rest, Black Serta, iComfort, Avocado, and more. A full line of spa-grade massage chairs take up to 5 years to pay with no money down for qualified buyers and no credit check payment plans. In Rome, on Black River Boulevard in the Black River Plaza. In Oneida, in the Glenwood Plaza by the movie theaters. In New Hartford on Commercial Drive next to Pet Supplies Plus. Go to mattressexpressny.com. Call 1-800-NEW-BEDS. Don't overpay for your next mattress. Come to upstate New York's largest specialty bedding retailer, Mattress Express.
America, look around. Everywhere you go, prices are still high, rates have been whipsawing markets, and the debt and spending don't exactly scream stability. Experts say diversifying with intention is the #1 secret account that all American smart money uses to hedge against instability. Monetary Gold has been around since 2000, witnessing multiple economic setbacks. If you call now, Monetary Gold will cover up to a lifetime of your IRA fees on qualified accounts. Call Monetary Gold now at 877-NOW-GOLD. That's 877-NOW-GOLD. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional.
Hey man, thanks for coming so fast. I couldn't get anyone else to pick up.
Yeah, it's been a busy week. I'm not complaining though. Business is way up lately.
Wow, good for you. I've been trying to grow my accounting practice, but it's been pretty slow.
Yeah, I was in the same boat last year. What really helped me was checking out this site, mylocalcustomers.com.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, well, most people haven't. It gives you a look at how many people in town are searching for what you do, and it also provides a plan to help them actually find you.
Like online?
Exactly. It's eye-opening, and it only takes a couple minutes to get started.
Huh, well, you fixed my sink. Maybe you just fixed my business too.
Want to know how many people in your area are searching for your type of business? Start with a local customer analysis at mylocalcustomers.com. It's quick, it's easy, and it's free. Go to mylocalcustomers.com today.
That's mylocalcustomers.com. mylocalcustomers.com.
First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX. WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Hey, Ricky Z is our man. The Steep Pawnee Mazda Move to Mazda New Year sales event is underway. That is totally not the title of it, but I butchered it. It's the Steep Pawnee Mazda New Year New Mazda sales event, and it's back. Would anyone have noticed? Probably not. What you would notice is the incredible rates. 1.9% APR on new 2025 Mazda CX-5s, with 0.9% on turbo models, 0.9% on new 2025 Mazda CX-50s, 1.9% on hybrids, 2.9% on new 2025 Mazda CX-30s. See the dealership for details. I love the CX-90. I have the hybrid model, or PHEV, P-H-E-V, plug, hybrid, electric vehicle. I think that's what it means. Nonetheless, Rick is the man to talk to. Ricky Z, let's make your deal on a new Mazda, where it's always easy to do business. Steve Pawnee Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville. We drove to, had to drive to Syracuse, so I am down to about a quarter of a tank of gas. Twice in a month, I'm going to have to put gas in because we traveled. And it's $2.65 down the street at the new Burn Dairy here. That thing opened very quickly. Pretty cool. You're taking calls over here. What's going on?
I didn't realize I'm getting a call from Bruce Blakeman here any second, so I need to.
Okay.
May need to jump off.
So he's running for governor, and
Nassau County exec.
Going to be really interesting to see what happens there. Delgado, I was thinking he was doing nothing, but apparently today or yesterday he's holding an event in town. So he's beginning to raise money.
He was at the Jewish Community Center a week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Holding an event.
Hochul has a 40, 50-point lead on him right now, but who knows? Maybe he can make it up.
I'm sorry. I just have to ask this. He's a public official. He's being paid. For instance, I worked for the state for a very brief time, and I was told, listen, I understand if there's an emergency or something, then you have to run out and pick up your child, but you have to document it because it can't say on the state books that Jeff was working at 3 o'clock when he was actually at the school picking up his kid, right? So how is he allowed to go around the state and campaign when he is the lieutenant governor?
There's a very good chance that he's not campaigning, that he's doing an informative town hall to reach out to the people as lieutenant governor.
Listening tour.
And and oh, by the way, you might have heard, I can't talk about that here because I'm on government time, but I am maybe running for governor.
And she allows him to do that, knowing he's going to challenge
I don't think
her.
she can stop him from doing that, to be honest. Maybe she could, but that would probably not be a good look. Your take on that?
I agree with what you're saying, and if she attacks him, now she's using her political might.
That's right.
To attack an opponent.
You never mention your opponent's name, right?
Right. That's why
she doesn't exist in her.
Yeah, that's right. All of a sudden, her running mate is no longer anywhere to be mentioned and not included in anything.
He who's not to be named.
Yeah,
it's like Harry Potter.
And it is funny that when she was Cuomo's lieutenant governor. She was on the radio here all the time.
Yeah.
The minute she became governor, we can't get her anymore.
We'll get Bruce on the show.
Big surprise. I would like to do that. All right. Anything else? So for those that are wondering and just tuning in, maybe Joe Rakowski is with Mohawk Valley Materials. Was potentially running for Congress. Back when it was a special election, not interested in getting it into it here. Did you get a taste though of what it's tough. It's
a racket. And part of that race was to run and meet with all the county chairs. It's a big district, and I'll tell you one thing I learned. Our public officials and leadership, they are on the go all the time. Trying to get a hold of Joe Griffo for a lunch. He's got to be 10 places a day. And all of them are the same.
Unless you're willing to eat at a Firehouse Fish Fry.
Right, and that's where they are. Yeah. It's support, listening to the constituents and learning about the issues and concerns in the district. And
it's definitely a big commitment.
And there's a lot of there's a swamp. Trust me when I tell you.
Yeah, and I think the thing that bothers me most is I try to get as much make connections with both sides. So I'm getting emails from both Republicans and Democrats. So it's not like just one side is doing it, but you'll get an email that basically says, "Can you believe Nancy Pelosi just did A, B, and C?" And then that's your subject. And then when you open it up, there's always a button to push because it always turns into a fundraiser. It's like almost all of the communication we're getting from our public officials now, statewide and federal, are fundraisers.
And it's so expensive to run a race. I mean, you look at what Sticker Mule has spent. He's not even really, in the hunt.
Correct me if I'm wrong. He's not showing any donations because nobody's donating to this guy.
It'd be a great thing to find out. I mean, how much has Smolin raised compared to Sticker Mule?
Right. And I think Smolin's raised a lot.
He's raised a lot, but They got to divulge that information. I'd love to know what sticker mill is raised organically.
Well, you can look it up right online. I'll check that later after the show.
Yeah, there are deadlines. I don't know if we've hit one yet, though, for submitting.
I would think you'd have a January filing. So there's got to be something to see what he has in there. But you know, some people don't file on time.
And the problem with Congress is because the turnaround on the re-elections are so quick.
Yeah.
As soon as you get elected, the day after, you're on the phones.
Yeah, you're on the phones. Actually, Richard Hanna used to talk about that, and he did not participate.
No.
Did he have two? Was he in for re-election?
Two, but what he, he was always basically self-funded, although I'm sure he took donations. But one of the things that it was always talked about is that the first part of your day was going to the phone banks and making phone calls.
Yeah.
And he said and I think Brindisi told us that as well back when he was in Congress. It is the priority. You must raise money.
I think they should have 4-year terms. Because by the time you get settled into the saddle and you figure things out, you're running again.
I thought that they should change it around, have 4-year terms for both Congress and senators, because senators are 6 years.
Yeah.
And it almost feels like it's too
forever.
long.
Yeah.
An interesting point.
Assembly has the same problem every 2 years.
A friend told me, and because we're so divided as a nation here in the Capitol, and I don't know if this is true, but he said back in the day, they all sat together. And when I was running, I called Brandon Williams and I asked him, I said, do you guys have assigned seats in Congress? And he said, no, why? I said, well, the first thing I would do is I would sit with some of the other.
Yeah.
And not because I want to, just because they don't talk. They don't.
Right. The problem is somebody will take a picture of you sitting with it.
Yeah, then I'm a no.
All of a sudden
he's been bought.
He's a traitor.
Yeah, but think about it. I mean, if you got those people working together and collaborating and having lunch, and right now you look at a picture. I mean, they're divided physically.
And as tight as it is right now.
Yeah.
It would be, you could accomplish a lot
But I've been to dinner at the Capitol Grill or Capitol Steakhouse across the street with leadership, and when they're not in session, a lot of them are friends.
They are friends. They just don't want people to see it and admit it.
Something old is new in the village of New Hartford. Introducing Handshake Antiques, now open at 66 Genesee Street, next to Giorgio's Village Cafe. Not your grandma's antique shop. Think clean, curated, and cool. From high-end furniture, vintage fashion, vinyl records, to oddities and all things eclectic. And we're always buying, so look in your attic or basement. And if it's old, call Handshake Antiques. Plus, inventory changes weekly, so every visit is a new find. Handshake Antiques, where it never went out of style.
Hurt in a car? Call William Attar. 315-444-4444.
All right, question. Are you a fraud-paying American? 1 in 4 tax-paying Americans have been a victim of identity fraud. Now, with LifeLock, if your identity is stolen, they will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Last year, billions in refunds were stolen. Now, could be from your salary or overtime or a second job. It's gone. But this year, you do not need to stay a victim. Save up to 40% off your first year. Use the promo code Hannity. Just go to lifelock.com today.
If your loved one is battling addiction, you should know there is hope. Through the Good News Foundation's PAL group, you will find confidentiality, respect, acceptance, and support. Learn about healthy relationships, enabling, and other important concepts to work toward healing. Go to the Good News Foundation's website and join the PAL group. When someone you love has an addiction, there is hope. Good News Foundation, sharing faith, offering hope, and serving others.
First News with Keeler in the Morning on WIBX.
All right, this is really interesting. I really enjoy talking to Melissa Schwarz. She is an attorney in the area and is the attorney for Caitlin Conley and is also the attorney for Gordon Woody Mowers, a case that goes back to 1996. It's in the news right now, of course, as he's looking to have his murder guilty plea vacated. And Melissa is on the line right now. Good morning.
Good morning. How is everybody doing?
Doing well. I got to tell you, I had one wish for this winter. I want this winter to be long and very cold. And boy,
really?
I love the cold. I really do. I also enjoy sarcasm. So Take it for what it's worth.
I don't know you that well.
Yeah,
so,
that's a good point.
I don't know. Maybe you're a winter guy. Maybe you're a ski bunny.
Yeah, it's not me. Even if you are a ski bunny,
it's too cold.
It's too cold. Did you see at Gore Mountain? All of those people got stuck on the ski lift. Wow. Okay.
I did not.
This is a very interesting story, one that we certainly watched back in 1996. And right now, explain if you could, Woody Mowers is saying, I was coerced into that guilty plea. I want a new trial. What are your thoughts? Obviously, you're handling his case.
Yeah, so right now he made a motion and we were granted a hearing, not by the county court judge, Judge Lampert, but by the third department. He was granted a hearing to litigate whether or not his guilty plea was made knowing, intelligently, and voluntarily. That's the standard to look at. So if he were to win this motion, he were to get his first trial since he pled guilty and he hasn't been to trial yet.
Okay. Oh, so he's not. This would be his first trial. I never thought about that because he pleaded. Yeah. And what was the reason for? He said that, and at the time, I believe the death penalty was not on the table or was on the table. And what was his reason for agreeing to plead guilty?
So in 1995, the death penalty started being utilized again, very short-lived in New York, but it did. So the death penalty, he was charged with murder first under the theory that he had killed 2 or more people. That would be his mother and his father. So it was death eligible at that time. And they never filed an actual death notice, but they said it death qualified and they were considering seeking the death penalty against him. And they didn't actually file the formal notice because he took the life without parole plea. The reason why he's challenging his plea now is because he was given 2 pieces of advice. Well, one piece of advice that was erroneous, and that was once the death penalty is found unconstitutional, life without parole will also be found unconstitutional, and you'll be resentenced to no more than 25 to life, since he only pled guilty to 1 count of murder. And then the second piece of this puzzle, which I think is the more interesting piece, is that he was paid $10,000 to waive off his family's estate. And that waiver and him receiving the $10,000 was in conjunction with him pleading guilty to the offense. And he was paid the $10,000. I don't think anybody's trying to say that he wasn't given that money. The question is whether or not that money was utilized to get him to plead guilty.
Very interesting, Tim.
So, Melissa, would his whoever, I mean, I guess what the thing is what we're saying here is that he had ineffective counsel. So would the people who were giving him that advice, would they be brought before the court to say, yes, I said that, or no, I didn't?
Yeah, so they already had, that's what we did last week or 2 weeks ago. We had a hearing and all of the attorneys involved testified.
Okay. So it would not. He would not be in a situation where, because he's not saying that he did not commit the murders. Is that correct?
I mean, if we want to talk about what's in the investigative file, he did give a confession in the investigative file.
Okay, but what would happen is he would then what he could accomplish out of this. Again, I may not be right, and I'm asking you, what he could accomplish is the chance at parole?
No, his conviction would be completely vacated.
Wow.
And the people would have to choose whether or not they could move forward with
a retrial.
With a trial.
Or with a trial.
This case is 30 years old.
Right.
And it never went to trial for the first time. So that means that nobody has testified under oath and been subject to cross-examination. So to get in testimony, say there's people that are deceased now, there's no testimony from those people. So
yeah.
What could come in and what can't come in is something that I really haven't, dove into at this point. But I mean, there's probably some issues with retrying the case.
Yeah. Okay.
I was going to say it would seem to, and again, I'm not picking sides here, but it would seem to significantly handicap the prosecution because most, if not all, their
Right,
witnesses are
they're not
probably
here.
no longer with
Yeah.
us. So
the other question I would have along that line would be when the judge comes up with a conclusion and makes a decision in this case, can part of the decision be, well, if I decide to vacate this, he can go free and he shouldn't go free, in my opinion, or is it simply the letter of the law?
It's simply the letter of the law.
WIBX Utica Road, W295 Utica.
From the WB Tain Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
This is a Fox News alert. A civil rights leader is being mourned. I'm Dave Anthony. The Reverend